How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Marvel Bros. We cover all things Marvel and everything pop culture. My name is Battery CEO. This is Sensei Finito. Sensei, what are we talking about today?
Yo, wait 1 second. I my audio started tripping on me right when you were saying
Oh
something.
no,
Okay, what's happening? I can't hear you through my headphones.
no.
Um, I have no idea what's going on right now. Hello.
Hello?
Okay, I can't hear you through my headset for some reason. But today we're gonna be checking. We're gonna be talking about Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Yo, we are doing our review for this movie. I am super excited. The movie, man, yeah, we're gonna be talking about everything. If you guys don't know how our reviews go around here, we talk for 15 minutes non-spoilery, and then we get into the spoilers, and then we just let all of the stuff just go free, just reign free. And we will be talking about spoilers 15 minutes into it, not yet. So if you guys haven't seen the movie, you are safe to be here and chill and talk with us. And then once we do get into spoilers, we will let you guys know that it's spoiler time. So to run away, to run away as fast as you can. Yeah, I'm not sure why my headset is not working right now, but it's not. So if you guys hear a little bit of echo, it's from the speakers. But I'm gonna be trying to fix it. So I'll just kind of no, we can do that later. So let's go general thoughts. So what were your general thoughts and like immediately like going into the movie when it started?
Well, first off, the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Atmosphere going into the theater. The theater. I don't know about your guys' showing, but our showing was packed. And not
Mm-hmm.
only that, people were dressed in like the attire that we see people wear in Black Panther.
Yeah.
And it was a super cool. It was a cool vibe, man, and just the environment that was set going into that movie was intense. And I cried the first minute of the movie. I'm not gonna lie. This movie was so emotional. It got me like 5 times probably. This movie
Damn.
was a true tribute to Chadwick Boseman and like what he was able to accomplish and what he did as Black Panther. And they praised him and they did a good job at moving forward with the story, knowing that he passed. And I think
Mm-hmm.
they did a good job of navigating that without being disrespectful. Um,
Yeah.
Actors were incredible. Music was good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the story itself caught me off guard completely.
Yeah,
There
I
were so many
agree.
twists and turns and like surprise appearances. Like,
It was like every other scene there was something crazy going on, and it was like, holy crap, wait a
crazy out of
minute.
pocket. I was like, yo, wait, what? This is happening here? I didn't even know this was a thing. And like, um, part of it was also probably because I've been checked out, like with school stuff. I haven't been paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I might have known certain things that were going to happen before.
We
So
knew
it
about we
definitely,
knew about a lot of stuff that was going on in that movie,
so
but there
like,
was a lot that we didn't know about as well.
yeah. So for me, there was a lot. Like I went in there 100% blind, pretty much, with the exception of knowing that Riri Williams was going to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But
but
we've known about that, like that
yeah,
post
we've
credit
known about
scene
that
that
for a long
happened, and
time.
like just a lot of stuff that was going on in that movie. We've known about it for a while. Um,
Yeah. See, I didn't even know about the post credit scene until I watched it. Um,
no, we talked about that. You were still here when we were talking about that. The
I
initial,
don't remember.
yeah, we were because a lot of the stuff I can't really say a lot of the things that we know because
Good.
it's all
I
spoilery.
don't remember.
But we talked about multiple things that actually did happen in the movie, which I was like low key hype about because I was like, okay, that means all of the things that we kind of talked about were
Yeah.
correct, which was awesome. Um,
Yeah.
and I agree though. I definitely was not boohooing in this movie. I don't think I cried one time, but Remy was
Oh
crying,
no.
and the dude next to me was in shambles.
Everyone in our
Yeah,
theater was in
everyone was in
shambles.
shambles. Yeah, truthfully. But one thing that I really really loved about this movie, especially going into it. Well, I'm going to be honest, I was not a big fan of how the movie started. Just me, personally. I did not like the way the movie initially started, and then we get that time jump afterwards. You know what I mean?
I
was not happy with that. I wasn't happy with the time jump, but I also was not happy with how the movie started. Like, I just wasn't personally, I don't think that was a good move to go that route.
How would you have gone with that though? Like,
I would have just started with the 1 year later. I wouldn't have started with any of the stuff that the movie just started with. I would have started the movie after that 1 year later, because we all already know what's going on. You know what I mean? So I just felt that was like a little bit intrusive almost, you know what I mean, to what was going on, just the starting of the movie. But I still really liked the start of the movie, because I believe that it was very poetic in a sense with other things that had happened in the movie, in the MCU beforehand. Yeah, it did need to happen. It needed to happen only because I don't know how else we would have really been in the shoes with Shuri without that moment. And then when we get into the spoiler section, I'll definitely dive deeper into what I'm talking about though. But like I said, I just was not. I wasn't the biggest fan of that, and unfortunately, right at the beginning, Remy thought it was gonna be a good time to go and like restock up on food and snacks, so she missed like the entire intro of the movie, all the way into the MCU card started running, and that's when she came in, and I was like, babe, what the heck is wrong with you? But that's the next thing that I wanted to talk about was that MCU title card. Holy crap. You could literally hear a pin drop.
That was cry number 2 for me. I should say so myself.
Yo, that's hilarious.
I was a broken man.
That's hilarious.
It just made me think about, like, I don't know, it just hit me in the feels, you know, from what's happened in my past, and you know, with my father, you know, and then like, with me remembering the day that I saw the news and texted you, like, yo, Chadwick Boseman gone. Like, you know, like, I just thought that
was insane,
and then it hit me, and then, like, it just kind of brought a bunch of other feelings out, and I was just kind of like, man, it hit me pretty hard. Just the intro card.
It hit Remy very hard as well. She was in shambles. I mean, Remy was Shuri for this movie, to be completely honest, like that. Yeah. Like, she was in that position. She's been in that position, so it just really resonated with so many people that have experienced any type of loss, and it resonated with me as well on that note. But I was just so, like, I'll probably cry the second time I watched the movie, because the first time I was paying so much attention to everything that was happening on screen. It was like I was almost trying not to let my emotions overwhelm like my viewing experience. I really didn't want to be tainted, I guess, with like what with my thought process, because of how deeply like emotional the movie was. Because a lot of the times we can get finessed by movies that have very strong plot points that are relative to our own life, and the movie can still be bad, but it's just we relate to something within the movie so much that we kind of just lose all sight of what's going on. But this movie wasn't like that. It was like, holy crap, I am so emotional right now, but on top of that, this is a beautiful movie. You know what I mean? So I
IMAX, right?
Yeah, I saw this in IMAX. Oh man, yeah, I will never see a movie any other way other than IMAX, bro. Like, we talked about that. Like, it's just IMAX is the viewing experience, you know? Like, that's just the peak experience. And that goes into like the whole thing that I was kind of saying about the emotional vibe. Is every other theater super taints my experience with the movie. Like, I'm not able to properly talk about the movie because I'm so hyped from the experience of, well, not Screen X. Screen X is probably my least favorite one, but the 40X, like, it's just so much going on within 40X that it's hard to just watch the movie for the movie when you're getting thrown around and there's special effects happening all around you. But when you get that IMAX feel, it's like straight to the point. We're here getting it going. And that's just what I really like the music. Holy shit, the sound design in this movie was incredible. Whether it was the music, whether it was the sound effects just for the action scenes, no matter what it was, they did a tremendously incredible job with just making us feel with the music. The music set the tone, and the lack of music also set the freaking tone. When there was no music, holy crap. And it wasn't even like the audience was silent and just as well. No one was like talking. Nobody even coughed when it was a silent moment. It was just, you could hear everything because we knew that we were supposed to be listening. And the way that they utilized that silence, even within the title card, it definitely made this movie a masterpiece. I'm not even gonna lie. Like,
no, I left the theater and I was like, this might be my top 2 MCU.
I don't know about that one.
No, for real, it just hit me. It hit me different than what we've
like MCU ever or Phase 4? Because those are 2 different questions.
Honestly, ever. It just hit different for me.
Okay.
I don't know why.
All right. I could definitely I could give that to you though. Like I don't think I could knock anybody that like feels that way. You know what I mean? Because this movie was freaking heavy.
Like it just I just connected with this movie on a whole nother level compared to other movies that we've seen.
I could agree with that.
And because not a lot of the other MCU, obviously they have like the big, cliche moments, that we typically can kind of connect with. But this one just hit on another level, Yeah. And I think, with the situation you mentioned with Remy, I think it's, that is just emphasized with the movie like this. And but on the Screen X, that's something I need to talk about real quick. Thinking about it, it was a great experience watching it in Screen X. However, they didn't use the full screen thing as often as I thought they would.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I almost hate Screen X, because they don't always use the other.
Like, every moment they did, it was awesome, and then when I at the end of the movie, I was like, I felt like they didn't really utilize it. Either I wasn't paying attention, or I was just either zoned out or zoned in so heavily I never noticed.
Movies aren't made for that screen. You know what I mean? They have to stretch out the resolution and stuff for that specifically. So like only fight scenes usually are the ones that are in there. Maybe some of the underwater scenes that we get might have been in the full screen for you, but I just can't even see a lot of moments that they would have utilized that properly at least. That like really put it to the full effort that they need to. And man, that's just kind of like how I just am not a fan. Like, what did we see? Multiverse of Madness, bro. When we saw Multiverse of Madness in Screen X, and then I went and saw it again outside of Screen X, I enjoyed it so much more outside of the Screen X, because it was like, even like those other screens on the side are literally just for your peripheral vision, and even then it's not that good. I don't know how else to say it. It's just it's really bringing down the everything. Like, it's bringing down everything. So we got I don't know what it is. I don't know what they need to do within the theater or what in order to kind of make those viewing experiences a little bit better.
And I noticed it after. I was like, man, I don't know if Screen X hit this time, but the movie was incredible. It left me feeling like I haven't really felt in a long time.
I agree with that.
And
it definitely got back to the like the MCU that we know. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel. It wasn't the BS that was Thor: Love and Thunder or nothing like that.
Shows.
Like, it was back to be like this. Beast. Like, I don't want to trigger anyone, but this movie was really close to being on par with like Civil War and like Winter Soldier type of vibes, just with the spy element that they brought in as well. Like, this movie, and I said this in my immediately out of theater review, was like, this movie tackles so many things at one time that you can't help but appreciate what this movie is, because you can see the other movie that Ryan Coogler wanted to make before. You know what I mean? Like, you can see remnants of what that movie was and what he had to do in order to save it to this, right? Because one thing that a lot of people keep forgetting about, and it's almost to the point to where I'm getting a little bit irritated with it, is that all of these movies that we got were made during like lockdown. And like this is the last movie that we have, if I'm not mistaken. This is the last movie or Ant-Man and Quantumania was the last movie. It was one of those. But those, I think it was this one though. This was the last movie that we had be made during COVID like times. And not only that, but let's think about all of the things that happened that were, because the odds were definitely stacked against this movie from the beginning.
Yeah, they had so many issues with COVID, especially with the main character.
Yes, we lost. Okay, so
bad trouble.
So not only COVID, but also Letitia Wright broke her leg. I don't know if you remember that. She broke her leg during doing an action scene. Of course, the passing of Chadwick Boseman as the main character. Not only the main character, but the lead, like the leading man, the main character, and he was helping Ryan Coogler write the script and all that type of stuff for the movie as well. Like he was heavily invested in it. They lost all of that. Every person on, like they already had so much planned for this movie. And it was so like just seeing people react and talk like they don't know anything happened. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, there's just no way that this movie, in my eyes, this was the best version of the movie that we could have got, because there's nothing else that they could have done that would have made this movie like A1.
Yeah, I don't know what else they could have done to make it better.
If they would have recast T'Challa, I don't think I would have even saw this movie. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't even think I would have saw the movie like that, because for me, that was just way too emotion. Like every actor, every person, Kevin Feige, like who do you put? Like aside from like Jonathan Majors, like to be completely honest, like you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, but he's already somebody. Like anybody that I would have chose to possibly recast him is in the MCU as someone else. Like you know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, I don't think people really understood how much how emotionally invested with Chadwick Boseman that the entire crew was that created this movie. Like everyone was connected to him in some way, shape, or form. So it's just really, I love the movie because you can see the emotion, you can see the pain, you can see that everyone clearly channeled all the energy that they had into this movie. You know what I mean? Yep. All the sadness, all of the stuff, they channeled it directly into this movie. Okay, we're still in the non-spoiler section, so I'm trying to figure out. Okay, let's catch up with chat. Let's do that. Let's catch up with chat. Yo, what's up with it, Nico? How you doing, Nico? Much love to you, my brother. Andre the Explorer, the dopest mod around. What's up with it, my G? How you doing? Hello, fellow bros. Unholy Steel says, hi, I just got my Marvel Legends Mr. Knight. Ooh. Yo, I've been meaning to get into the Marvel Legends. I'm not going to lie, but I just keep forgetting.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot, but I just want to kind of get my collection started because I love action figures and I love pops as well. But the action figures just look so freaking dope. Like, what's it called? There's another one, not just the Marvel Legends. Damn, I can't think of it, but it's mad expensive. They're the ones that are like super expensive. I can't think of what they're called though.
Oh, Super Toy. No.
Yeah, I can't think of it. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Hot Toys.
Hot Toys. There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
How you doing, Sensei Finito? I'm doing good, Nico. How you doing today? To me, this was a drama more than a blockbuster. Yes, it was a drama. It was definitely a drama. This was everything. I'm not even gonna lie. This movie literally had elements of the entire MCU. Like, of the entire MC. Like, there was Iron Man vibes in this movie. There was Thor, even Thor vibes within this movie. Not Love and Thunder Thor, but, you know, just Thor vibes in the movie, Captain America vibes in the movie. It was like they literally wrapped up every single thing that we've ever seen in the MCU that we have liked into one movie. Like, that's how it felt for me. Like, the action, crazy on par. The dialogue, insane. The dialogue in this movie was insane. It was the dialogue that almost brought me to tears a lot of the times just because of the sheer force that people were putting behind their voice. Oh my gosh. Like, it was nice. I I love it. I love it. I love it. Francis S. It was a perfect ending to a Phase 4, which was about loss and finding one's identity. I could not agree more. That was a beautiful comment right there. Let's go ahead and pin that because I agree with it completely. It was definitely, and this is another thing that, you know, I've been a huge advocate for, is that Phase 4 has been the reactionary phase. It has been the, like the cause and effect, or it's just the reactionary phase. I don't know what else to call it other than that. And the remorse, like grieving. It was grieving and reactionary, right? That's what this phase was all about. And every single show, movie we got, it was all about loss in one way, shape, or form. And I could literally go down the list and explain it to you how it's about loss. But I'm pretty sure we can all understand that it is. You know, whether it's WandaVision with Vision, or the Falcon and Winter Soldier with Cap, Hawkeye with Black Widow, you know what I mean? Like every single thing, someone lost something. Even Kate Bishop, I'm pretty sure not only did she lose her dad, but her mom didn't die, did she, in the show? Her mom didn't die, right? Her mom didn't die. Yeah, no. But like everybody was losing something. Yeah, right? It's like I can't remember for some reason. Yelena Belova, you know, she lost her sister. Like everything that we have got, it's been connected to loss. Even Thor: Love and Thunder, which is one of the worst movies ever created in the history of mankind. Even that movie, even that movie had a lot of remorse and loss in it. You know, Thor's reactions and actions in that movie are in direct correlation of, even though I think it's a bad way to take the character, he's still acting that way because of the loss of his mom, his father, and his brother, right? Like, even though he's super humorous, he's being super humorous and obnoxious about it because of the loss. Like, that is a defense mechanism. It's not really, you know, that's not really him in a way. He's just really leaning heavily into that because of all the loss, and even finding out about Jane Foster and all the stuff that happens there. Loss, sadness. None, even like Thor: Love, and that was my biggest issue, was that Thor: Love and Thunder should not have been an upbeat, happy movie when someone's freaking dying from cancer within the movie. That's not the vibe for me. But other than that, it was just crazy how powerful this movie was outside of just Chadwick Boseman. Like, the movie was powerful even outside of that send away. You know what I mean? Like, even though they were sending him away, writing it off, or whatever you want to say, it was still so powerful. Yes, it was, and the ending was a glimmer of hope for the future of Wakanda. I mean the post-credit scene for sure, but outside of that post-credit scene, there's really...
I think it's going towards a really dark place.
It's not... there is no hope.
I think we might see a pretty dark MCU in the future.
I think we're going to get the dark... Like, it's going to be... Whoa! I think it's going to be even, like, more intense than it was in, like, Civil War and Winter Soldier, because it's safe to say those are kind of the quote-unquote darkest movies that we've had up until here. Because
some pretty big things happen in this movie.
Facts.
That create a very tense relationship between the outside world and Wakanda in this movie. And
yes.
They did a fantastic job at creating that tension too. But like, I definitely think we're heading towards a very dark path. And we'll just have to kind of see what happens, because
it's crazy. We're about to get deeper into all of that too with the spoilers in a second, but let's just continue with these chats and then we'll get into the spoiler part. Hot Toys, yes, thank you. Francis says Chris Hemsworth. Wait, I missed this one. Yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder was mid because Thor is not that serious anymore, but maybe in Avengers of Kang Dynasty, Thor is going to be more serious because Kang is the most powerful MCU villain. Man, hey, yeah, you know, the whole thing, yeah, there's always hope. But the one thing that's made me okay with everything is this. Thor: Love and Thunder was told by Korg. And that's why the movie was mad cheese. Because Korg was telling the story. The first story, I believe, someone else is telling it. In the second movie, I think Loki is telling the story. You know what I mean? Like, each movie has been like someone else telling the story of Thor. It hasn't been Thor's movie all the way yet. So things are embellished a little bit more in that fact. But I'm like, hey, I know I be hating on Thor: Love and Thunder, but I do like the movie. It's just it just broke my heart because I was going into Thor: Love and Thunder ready for this level of stuff to be going down. Like I thought it was going to be like this movie.
Trash.
Yeah. I was like, somebody find Taika Waititi for me. Francis says Chris Hemsworth should be watching Wakanda Forever and pausing to wonder why Love and Thunder did not try to add more emotional depth with the actors they had on hand. Yeah, they definitely did not use the actors to full extent. And this movie did. Holy shit. Every character shined in this movie. And there's a lot of them. And I literally mean every character had their own moment to shine. Like their 15 seconds of fame, whatever you want to call it. Every character, whether they was a side character, no matter what, they were there. Jay Cassili says, hot take, I thought it was okay. It lacked the heart the first film had. Boring, did not feel the same without T'Challa. I mean, T'Challa is the heart of the franchise, and he's not there anymore. So I think that's exactly how you were supposed to feel, to be honest.
These are two very different movies, too.
Yes, they are. I mean, they have to be. It's been 6 years.
It's difficult to even compare them.
It's like 6 to 8 years, and even in the MCU, it's 6 to 8 years. Not just in real life. It's like 6 to 8 years that the first movie has happened. So the entire MCU is different from that first movie. I think this was a really good continuation, and we know about the movie that Ryan Coogler wrote initially, and it's very close to what we got. You know what I mean? It's very close to what we got. They were just gonna lean a lot heavier into some aspects that happened in this movie, and not, it was still gonna be about loss, but it was gonna be about the loss of the people in the kingdom from the snap. That's what and having them come back, and then all of that stuff. All of that was in there. So, Unholy Steel says Phase 4 was a little bit of passing the torch to new characters. Oh yeah, that's entirely what it was. And also Phase 4.
100% the goal.
Yeah, 100% the goal. And Phase 4 is the first time in the MCU where a phase doesn't have Avenger movie attached to it, right? So this is outside of all that other stuff, this is a whole new MCU that we're getting. We're only getting Avengers movies per saga, not per phase anymore, right? So that's something to really pay attention to as well, is that there's not a huge buildup in this phase to the Avengers movie, because that's how Phase 1, 2, 3 have been. All of those phases also had Avengers movies in them, and we're not getting an Avengers movie until Phase 6, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It's like Phase 6 and Phase 7. I think we're getting an Avengers movie in both of those, because I think now the dates for Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars have been like spread apart even more than when we first got the announcement. I pop in for a Black Panther review, and Sensei is going off on Thor: Love and Thunder again. Bruh, hey, you already know. Thor: Love and Thunder, I am always going to talk about that movie anytime we see a movie, because they need to take notes. What if the Thunderbolts movie is the war between the U.S. and Wakanda? That's very possible. Other than the Spider-Man No Way Home, Phase 4 was kind of boring. In fact, I feel like the decline of the MCU became way before Phase 4. I'm pretty sure, Jay Casali, I'm pretty sure you're the guy that's always in here tripping about Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire being the best one ever. So, no disrespect to you, but okay, bro. Is it only me, or was the movie dark in some places to the point where you had a hard time seeing the details on the screen? Yes.
Not like Game of Thrones.
100% it was. When Ramonda and Shuri are on the beach with the fire, it was hella dark. It was
definitely only used that fire for lighting. That's all.
Yeah, literally. It was hella dark.
You know what? Let's get some more folks. We need a little more lighting. They went hardcore on that scene. But yeah, it was very similar to Game of Thrones in some aspects. I think the scenes underwater, for the most part, were pretty cool. It did look a little weird sometimes.
Actually, I
was
thought that
very
was
surprised.
the best parts of the movie was the underwater parts because I felt like every
It was
time they
awesome,
were in the air, it
but
looked
it
terrible
looked a
to
little
me.
weird.
That's what I had a bad feel that like when they were in the
Oh, when
air,
he was flying.
anyone was in the air, it didn't look too good. Like Namor, he looked pretty good, but like Ironheart, all that other stuff, it was like what the
Even
hell
the
is
suit
going
looked
on?
a little weird to me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
I don't know what the hell they did, fam, but that shit looked
It just looked like it
wild.
was unrefined. It looked like it was a cartoon.
You know, I think they
It
were
did
trying to
not
make it look like that because it was supposed to be made of like vibranium and all that stuff, but you know, it's whatever. Okay.
I don't know. It didn't look like how Iron Man suit looks like. That's for sure.
But that's
It just
because
looked different.
the Iron Man suit was a lot of practical stuff. It wasn't like a lot of CGI for the Iron Man suits and
Oh
stuff.
no, yeah, this suit was like 100% CGI.
100%
and you could
CGI.
tell.
Okay. I believe that will wait. Let me think. What else do we need to talk about? I don't think we can talk about anything non-spoilery. To be honest, I don't think we can. I'll say Okoye was amazing in this movie.
Yep.
The other chick that they had, I don't know who she was. I can't think of her name right now, but she was a new addition.
I thought one of them died. If I'm being honest, I could have sworn Killmonger slit the throat of
yes
partner.
Yes, and that's why there's a
there's
a new girl now. That's who I'm talking about. Is the new girl because the new girl took the place of that person that died, and I don't know who the hell that was.
I think you're right.
I can't think of her name, but she's the new lady. Yeah, she's the new lady. And she
with the daggers.
Yes, with the daggers, which was badass, by the way. I loved that. And a lot of this movie, also, I think we can say this. A lot of this movie was very similar to, damn, I can't think of what movie it was, but kind of not out with the old, in with the new, but basically that, you know, like the old way of things being so heavily rooted within everybody. The Queen, Okoye, everyone, like, except for Shuri and them, you know, like Shuri's on one side of, okay, here's the new way of things and here's how we kind of should be doing stuff from here on out. And then the Queen is really on the old way of things and kind of trying to almost, to me, it seemed like she was almost trying to kind of undo some of the things that T'Challa had done, you know, and some of the decisions that he had made. Start to the movie was incredible with the Queen coming in
oh no, for real.
Oh, so we're gonna get into that more as well. Yeah, we're gonna get into that as well. But yeah, so all the characters definitely shined. I had a really good time with it. I do have some things that I don't like about the movie, but I can't really talk about any of those things without spoilers. So that's really all I can give you guys, and that's all that we can give you guys.
I can think of there's a couple cons I could talk about. Maybe it's one.
We talked about the CGI already.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe this is probably the second con for me. Maybe there's three cons. So, with the first movie, the music was incredible.
Yes.
This one, music was good, but it wasn't as prevalent as it was in the first one. They only focused on like 2 or 3 songs throughout the entire movie, while like the first one.
Oh, you mean like actual music, like actual songs and shit? No, I feel you 100%.
You know? And so like I was thinking back to like, dang, how's the album for this one gonna be?
I was waiting for Rihanna's song the entire time.
Oh yeah, because like I was excited to hear that, but like just the album, like I don't know if they were trying to go like full hardcore with the album like they did with the first one, you know, and I don't think they did.
They didn't at all. Yeah, no, because the first album was a banger. I'm pretty sure it won like an award or something, didn't it? The soundtrack.
It might have.
I think
I have it on record.
That thing is fire, bro.
Right here.
It's definitely fire. Kendrick Lamar, you got crazy songs on that, bro.
Yeah, I think I just expected more from the music. Third, there was possibly some issues with the pacing.
I agree.
Spots.
I agree.
Like it was a little. They took some time in places where they probably didn't need to.
Oh,
Like
I
where
don't know. No, no,
he
no. Never mind. I don't mean it like that. Never mind. Go ahead.
or I don't think I mean it by like that either. Like it just felt like they took their time
I
when
personally
it could have gone
wasn't
a little
bored
faster.
at
But
one moment in this movie. For me, I've seen a lot of people say like, "Oh, this movie is
yeah,
so boring, it's so slow." But for me, it wasn't slow or boring. I was very
mm,
intrigued and I was very invested. I mean, I love Eternals
mm,
though, and Eternals is like a
yeah,
movie that almost everybody kind of hates, like together.
that's wild to me.
Yeah,
I
I
actually
don't.
really
Yeah,
liked it too.
Eternals is a beautiful movie, and I felt like this movie is a beautiful movie as well. But the thing that I'm not a huge fan of is like skipping the journey. I don't know why, but I'm just not a big fan of skipping the journey. This movie felt to me a lot like Infinity War did, to where it's like, okay, we're on Earth with Iron Man, and now we're in space with
Hmm.
Guardians of the Galaxy, and now we're in
You know
space
what?
with the
That's a good
Guardians of the
point. Because there's
Galaxy
a
and
couple.
Iron Man, and now we're on Earth, and now we're in
Hmm.
Wakanda, and now, you know what I mean? And it was just like, boom, 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 boom. Next thing's happening,
Yeah.
next thing's happening, next thing's happening. Uh, title cards. Like we are in Wakanda now. We are in Talocan now. It's like holy shit. Okay, so we're not wasting any time like for the travel to there because it's not like we
Hmm.
don't get in a jet and fly with them and then see them get out of the jet. Because that's stuff that they do in a lot of these movies. But this was just next thing, next thing, next thing, next thing. Take the time in this moment, next scene. Take the time in this moment, next scene. Like they wasted no time. And I believe that the screen time that every character got was needed and necessary. I saw some people complaining about some things. Damn, can't say that either. But yeah. So that's where I think that the pacing wasn't it for me. You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
barely liked that in Infinity War. I was like, whoo, man, I'm
Yeah.
not a big fan of that. But in this movie, I was like even a less big fan of it. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
we're
Because
just
like
gonna jump around. Like the queen talks to homegirl at one point, and then the next time we see her, she's there, and it's like, okay,
yeah.
what the hell? She didn't have to call in a favor to somebody. Like, nope, we're just here now. But it's all good. I'm not tripping. I'm not really tripping off that. It's not a big thing to me, but I do wish that we got to see a little bit more of stuff like that.
Yeah. I think just to clarify, I don't think I was bored either. But I do think it was on the cusp of being to that point for me.
Yeah.
But I wasn't bored. I just feel like they could have picked it up couple spots.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can't think of a particular spot either right now at the moment, but I just know there was a moment where I felt like it could have picked up a little bit, but that quickly was not an issue after after it was just a small portion of time.
And that's kind of what I'll say to it too. That's kind of my rebuttal is every time I kind of thought that something happened that took
Yeah,
me out of that feeling, and I was like, oh, well, nope, never mind. Here we go. We're into it again.
we got the ball rolling now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And one thing I'll say as well is I think rewatching this movie will have profound meanings. Like it will be so profound to watch this movie again because now you're not focusing on whatever else is going on. You're able to consume other parts of the movie that you didn't see the first time, and I think that'll be a dub.
Yep.
So that's about that. I think we'll end our spoiler-free section here with bro, what would you give this on the Marvel Bros scale? Out of 10. What is this a rating for you?
Honestly, I think I can give it a solid
Okay.
9.5, 9 for me. Um, I think the
Holy shit, we
pacing
haven't
issues
talked
that I
about
talked about.
Namor once. He was freaking awesome. Just side note.
Oh,
He was
yes.
incredible.
He was a menace. Um, I think a 9.5 will be my final. Only because of the pacing issues I might have had with the movie, but overall, everything else, maybe a 9 because of the music. Actually, the music and the pacing probably make it a 9 for me, but still, top two MCU movies for sure for me. I think how it made me feel, how I felt connected to it, the way I connected with it compared to everything else.
Mm-hmm.
The action, the characters that we see, the performances, uh, the plot and the story that we see unfold before us was a good experience. It was like something we haven't seen in the MCU in last couple of years, so it was really cool. It was refreshing. Uh, and it made me excited for the future.
Yeah, I agree.
The MCU.
I agree, bro. I agree. I think I would have to give this maybe like a 8.7 to like for my initial, like when I first got out of the theater, I was like at a 9.3 for sure. But right, like now where I'm at, I'm more of at like a 8.7, and then when I watch it again, my second rewatch is when I'll have like my definitive, okay, this is what I think this movie is.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, I think I'll have to give it like a 8.7, almost a 9, only because the CGI for me was, woo, bruh, that it was like, it was just not it at some points.
That's a good point.
Like the CGI was like literally terrible at moments. Like not just like, oh man, that's kind of bad. Like in Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, there was points where it was like, oh, that's kind of bad. But this was like, no, okay, that was freaking terrible CGI.
I think my score just got demoted to like an 8.5.
But that's just it. There was just really moments where I was like, holy shit, what is this? This is
those
terrible.
Are the three things then.
But the music for me, I loved the use of the music, and I honestly didn't want to hear any music in this movie because I don't think it would have fit at all. Like other than Rihanna's song that we know we get. Like I didn't want to just see something happen and then hear music like or hear a rapper or a singer. I really like the use of the, of like keeping it with the traditional, like it was very traditional music, basically mixed with hip hop. That's just what Ryan Coogler does, right? He takes whatever is traditional music, especially like even for the Talokans. He took very traditional music for them, took traditional music for the Wakandans, and then mixed it into having some hip hop vibes and feel to it. Which I thought was a major banger and a major dub. So I really liked this movie. But like I said, I have to give it like an 8.7 just because of some other things that I'll talk about as well. Like the beginning, didn't like the beginning. It really rubbed me the wrong way. The CGI was freaking terrible at moments. It was beautiful. It was breathtaking at moments. And then at moments it was like they just had the animator's child do it. Like, I don't know. It was just wild. Yeah, but I think I could give it like a 9 for other reasons that we'll talk about in the spoiler section, but I think 8.7 is what I'm comfortable with. So let us know what you guys would rate this movie out of 10. This is the end of our spoiler-free section. Now we're going to get into spoilers, talking about the actual parts of the movie that we liked and stuff like that. So this is spoiler time. If you have not seen the movie, this is your time to run away as fast as you can because it's spoiler alert. It's spoiler alert time, okay? So, I'm going to just start it off with what I've been saying. I did not like the beginning of Shuri trying to save her brother from dying from cancer. I'm sorry. That just was not it, fam. I'm sorry. That wasn't it, bro. Like, that just rubbed me the wrong way all the way. Like, I don't know how else they could have had T'Challa, pass away in this movie, but having it be the exact thing and having her trying to find the genome to prevent the cancer cells or whatever the hell she was doing, I did not like that. I'm sorry.
She was just trying to replicate the flower to give T'Challa his power.
There you go. Yeah. So he didn't. Yes, there you go. And then she just kept doing that over and over again. And she had his DNA as well, and that's why because she had the flower on one, and then his DNA strand as well, and she kept trying to like do whatever she was doing. I was like, bruh, okay. This is too much, right? That's how it was for me. I was like, this is too much. I understand what you're trying to do, but this is too intimate of a situation that happened for real in real life for y'all to just be showing it in the movie in this way. For me, I just did not like that. It definitely, I just didn't like it at all, bro. I don't know. It definitely just rubbed me the wrong way, and I was like, woo, I don't know I know a lot of people are gonna have some issues with that moment right there, just because it's like, I don't know. And then the queen comes in and she's like, your brother is gone. And it's like, bro, why did we even need this when we already know all of this as a fact? Like, I just wasn't a fan of that. And then going from that to the cold open type of vibe of seeing Chadwick in the Marvel Studios logos, and they didn't just have moments from the Black Panther. They had real life moments in there as well, like from real life. And it was just like, okay, y'all are blending real life with fiction a little too hard at the beginning of this movie immediately. And I'm just not a big fan of that. You feel me? It's like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way. And that's kind of all I can kind of say about that. Yeah, you're out of here, Jay Casali. I'm sorry, G. You're wildin', bro. You're going in timeout, friend. Hopefully you get it together, bro. We don't do that type of shit around here, Jay. I try to let you slide, bro, but you just always got to go a little bit too far.
I saw that comment. I was like, oh yeah, that's
You might get blocked around here, Jay Casali, so you might want to tread lightly, my guy. We don't play that shit around here, for real. So yeah. I am tremendously. I didn't like that part. You feel me? I wasn't a fan of that. So it'd be like that sometimes. But that was just my big pet peeve in the movie. You know what I mean? It was just like, damn. But like we said, I really don't know what else they could have done to really get us into that feel. I don't know.
Because like with the direction they went with the movie, they kind of needed a moment like that. But again, I don't know how else they could have done it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say I didn't dislike it, but I would have liked them to do something else, do something a little different. Only because, just like how you mentioned, it did seem a little too real, a little too soon.
Yeah. Yes.
Only because of the impact that I think that Chadwick made, and just the first movie made in general. I think they could have done something a little different to kind of, I guess build that wall between reality and like the movie itself.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I can't say that I was impacted as much as you were, but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, and the thing that makes me not be like, oh, that was most terrible thing they could have did is the fact that I know that they actually talked to Chadwick's family and they actually helped with parts of this movie because they also understood how big Chadwick, like how big it was for Chadwick to be Black Panther. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's just, that just rubbed me the wrong way, but I, like, the family, if the family was okay with it and if, all that type of stuff, then who am I to really feel played about it when that's their whole ass family member and like husband and child and brother and what all these extra things, but I think even
I would hope they did at least. I'm pretty sure they would. I don't think Ryan Coogler
No.
Yeah, I don't think
they talked about it. Yeah. Like I'm pretty sure it was Chadwick's wife. And I think someone else. They like talked to them about the movie and like certain things that they wanted to do. But I think Chadwick's brother was like for the recast T'Challa movement, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. But once again, it's just the only way they could have recast T'Challa is if they never did a Black Panther movie for the rest of this saga until the next one. Like you gotta have like 10 years or you gotta have like 10 years of breathe time because that's too fresh in our minds. And he's been in multiple projects as well. And he literally dominated in every single thing that he was in. My guy was just at the end of Endgame, and he's the first person that you see walking out of Doctor Strange's, circle. Like, right, like, come on. There's a reason for this, right? Like, they knew what they were doing. They know how powerful this man is. So we'll just have to see what's going to happen in the future. But like I said, that's my biggest, like literally, other than the CGI moments, that's my literal biggest gripe about this movie. That and Queen Ramonda. What the hell were they thinking taking out Queen Ramonda?
That caught me off guard, bro. And the way that she got taken out, I was like, yo, there's no shot you're going to let Namor live after this, right?
Yo!
I was like, yo, right? Like, what? And like, no, I was shook when we didn't see her in the dream later on in the movie.
Yes!
And we see the person. I was like, okay, I understand this. I understand. And I'm so happy and excited because I did not know that was happening at all.
Oh,
that was a huge surprise for me.
What? Okay, maybe you weren't here when we were talking about that because I knew that was happening, and then I knew the post credit scene as well. Like we talked about that ad nauseum on the channel. I loved that, but this is what I'll say about Namor not dying because of what he did. Technically, he did not kill the queen. Technically, the queen sacrificed herself to save Riri Williams. Technically, like
he created the circumstances.
Yes, like I will agree with you 100% on that. He created the circumstances, but the queen definitely could have just went up for air and like, and it would have been cool and let Riri drown. But she was too real for that to happen. And I think that's something that Shuri also realized as well, because even Riri knows. She was like, yo, the queen risked her life to save me. So I had a big issue with that, but at the same time, I was like, it makes sense though, because that's what the queen would do 100%. Like, that is 100% what she would do. Shit, that's what Angela Bassett would do in real life. Like that's just 100% what would happen in that situation. And that's why I wasn't terribly against it. I was just like, when I seen it, I was like, wait a damn minute.
Just face down like that. Do our girl I was like, damn. Like, it felt like no one around us where we were at in the theater was talking, and you just hear me like, damn, they did her like that in the middle of the theater, and I was like, and all quiet, and I'm just like, damn. I was making hella comments the entire movie. I was like, there's no shot. This just happened.
Yo.
And I was like, what is happening? I don't understand.
Bro, halfway through the movie, I looked at Remy and I was like, I legitimately have no idea what's going to happen in this movie. Like, I have no idea how this is going to end. I don't know what's going to happen next.
Like,
this point, we are just floating in the water, bro, because we have no idea what's going to happen.
It was a world of war and conflict.
They did her dirty, though.
That didn't happen.
That didn't
happen. I mean, it kind of set it up, potentially.
And then Namor saying, bury your dead. And then leaving? Oh, bruh, badass menace to society. Give me more. Yeah. Okay. Let's jump into chat. I think, I hope Phase 5 is better, Nico says. Phase 5 is going to be better. Phase 5 themes, unlikely alliances, paranoia, inverted expectations, and ironically, Loki will be the one not many will trust, but will need to. Oh, that's a really good point. That is a really good point, because people are definitely going to not trust Loki, and they got to trust him, because he's the only one that really knows. At this point in time, Loki is the only person that knows what's going on. And then it's going to be Loki and Ant-Man. Like, there's going to be the only ones that know, if Ant-Man doesn't die in his movie. For sure. Hey, that's what I think.
No, never mind. Keep going.
Gore the God Butcher was so weak in Thor Love and Thunder, like they keep nerfing villains because Gore in the comics was way more powerful. Man, I think that was only because of Christian Bale. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of why I'm against getting these A-list actors if they don't want to play the roles. Like, me and Bat talked about it multiple times. Christian Bale literally shit on comic book movies and the MCU and just everything multiple times. Yep. So he's not the person that you need to have in your comic book movies because he doesn't care enough. And he's not gonna bring his A game, and he definitely did not bring his A game with Gore the God. Like, that's not even his top 20 of best performances. You know what I mean? Not even in the top 20 of best performances coming from Christian Bale. And when we have villains like Ultron, and played by James Spader, like, bruh, like, that was awesome. My guy Ultron was more menacing than Gore the God Butcher, and I don't think that should be a thing when you got someone that's butchering gods. And that's what I loved about Namor, because I was mad nervous that he was gonna die. I was like, oh no, he has to die.
There was a moment I was like, ah, damn.
I was like, he has to die. So
there were several moments that happened, and I was like, okay, he's died. There's no shot. She's gonna let him live, especially after going off on M'Baku like that at the end. And then, like,
I loved that moment.
Yo, I was just like, okay, my man's dying. There's no shot. And then seeing bruh, oh god, that was crazy.
When she ripped bruh's wings off his foot, I was like, oh shit, son.
and he realized, you know what? It's gonna be a long day.
I like the skip that he did afterwards. When he skipped with that foot because it only had one wing, and he was like,
beat her in the face.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, that was lit.
He was putting the paws on her though. I was like, God,
bruh,
damn.
he had the hands, and I believe this is the first time the word mutant has been spoken in the 616 universe. They only say mutated. They've only said mutated and like mutagens or something like that. They've never said, like, no one has ever said I'm a mutant. This was the first time, and Namor said it in his backstory. He was like, I'm a mutant because his mom ate the herb while she was pregnant with him, and then bruh got pointy ears and wings on his feet, and he's technically the first mutant at this moment because he's like 500 years old. I don't know if you guys know that, but my guy Namor is 500 years old.
My guy was taking out conquistadors.
Exactly. So yeah, that's a fact. I think Wakanda Forever and Winter Soldier are the greatest sequels in the MCU.
That's how I felt.
Yeah. No, yeah, they are.
That's why I put it in top 2 because Winter Soldier is my favorite movie ever.
Yeah, Iron Man 2.
That's why I had to put it in.
No, yeah, I gotta agree with you there. This is definitely the best sequel because what was it? Far From Home. Far From Home wasn't that.
It was good, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it was okay, but Ant-Man 2, I liked Ant-Man 2, but it wasn't.
It didn't hit as good as the first one.
Yeah.
I liked them both, but like again, I didn't hit like the first one did.
Nah, yeah, you're definitely right about that, Unholy Steel. I'll give that one to you, bro. That's a good one. Phase 5 will be better and Phase 4 better than it might appear in hindsight. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. We're going to look back on Phase 4 and we're going to praise it for the things that are going to come in the MCU in the future. And that's what, I guess that's a really good thing to say too, is Phase 4 was a build-up phase more than anything. It was a reactionary setup. It's like, okay, here's the reaction from everything that happened, and now here's the setup for everything that's going to happen.
These are like this phase was like the next 2 episodes after the middle of a season before the finale.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's where we're at with this particular phase. And now I think we're gonna start picking up with Phase 4. Picking up with the major things again.
This is like a prologue almost. Like to this is a prologue to the multiversal saga. That's how it feels. And a lot of people don't even realize that we're not even really in the multiversal saga like that just yet. Like, we are, but we ain't really in that thing just yet. Like, Ant-Man Quantumania is when it's like, okay, we in here now. Just the Ant-Man Quantumania is our Avengers 1, basically, right?
Yeah.
Like, Avengers 1 is where we're really introduced to like Thanos and his army and Loki and understanding that Loki and Thanos are actually working together and all this type of stuff. That's what's happening with our Ant-Man Quantumania. This is our holy shit. This is a big bad. Like, this is our big bad right here. And yeah, I think it's gonna be a beautiful movie.
Yep.
High hopes for Phase 5. The Quantumania trailer looked amazing on the big screen. Oh my god, yes it did. And oh my god, I was like, babe, we're about to see the Ant-Man trailer on this IMAX screen, and it's about to be balls to the wall amazing. And boy, was it. I was like, yo, I was like, let's go, bro. That made me so hyped. Seeing the rings circle him again, like, oh, bruh. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. My theory is that he wants Ant-Man to steal like the 10 rings and the quantum band from like Miss Marvel and Shang-Chi because he needs them to continue working on whatever he's working on. That's kind of my theory right now for that, because that'll be I saw the Quantum Mania trailer at the Black Panther Wakanda Forever viewing too. It was amazing. Oh yeah. It needed less music. It was a deliberate play up the silence and somber mood. That's how I feel as well. I didn't yeah. That's kind of, I think I kind of said that already. I didn't think it needed music at all because I didn't want to hear anybody because it would have took me out. I'd have been like, oh wait, this song is slapping.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want that while I'm crying. Like, you know. I think on the second and third watch, it will be clear pacing was right on. I don't know about right on, but I definitely think that they did everything that they could do for this movie. Sure. Yeah. The icing was just right for me. I didn't even look at my watch once. Yeah, facts. Oh, man. There was someone in the row like 5 rows ahead of me, and they was looking at their phone like multiple times during the movie, and they had their brightness all the way up, bruh. I almost threw something at them. I was like, bro
there was a
like, what the hell are you doing? Like, my guy was like tweeting and like texting people. I was like, bruh, what the fuck? There's the baby next to you.
Yeah, swear to God. There was a baby like 5 seats over. And like, we just hear like the baby wasn't like as bad as you would think, you know? But like, there was like 4 or 5 times where you could hear a baby like, you know, do the baby
noises.
Baby yell.
Yeah.
Baby noises, right? And I was like, I looked over, I was like, what the I didn't even see a baby come in. That's why I was so confused. I was like, what? It was like that scene from that movie with the beach.
Old.
Yes, it was like Old. When we were, all of us were like,
what the hell?
Yeah, like it was like that. Like I was just like, there's no shot someone came in here with a 1-year-old baby, like just chilling. And I was like, oh God. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it was, because when I first heard it, I was like, oh God, this is the worst. This is gonna be the worst experience. Oh my God, they just don't stop, huh?
I'm about to have to mod you in here, Mary Sue.
But yeah, I think that was a pretty wild thing. I'm always surprised when people bring like 1 year old or less to the movie theater.
Yeah, for real.
But I get it. I understand. Sometimes you just don't got another choice, you know. But you know,
yeah.
I will say though, you know, another thing for me that I think I'm interested to see. How do you feel about Riri Williams in this movie? Because I thought she was a pleasant surprise. I wasn't prepared to see that version of that character. With that said, I didn't know that character. I didn't read her comics. So I don't know what she's supposed to be like. I think she did a pretty good job. I like how they kind of intertwined her with the story, with her making the
vibranium detector.
I think that was a pretty cool way to do that. And actually, I had forgot that she was going to be in the movie, because I was like, when they were examining the machine in Wakanda, they were like, why does it look like it was made with like stuff from like the junk pile?
Yeah, like a junkyard. Yeah.
I was like, who would do this? And then it goes to the college, and I was like, really? So I was like, oh my God, like I totally like spaced out. And then so that was a pretty big surprise, and the way the introduction is like, yo, you still need to pay me for doing your damn project, bro. I got your arm, and like, and it's like, wait, and then like she like hella pressed my guy, and I was like, damn, okay, I like this character.
Yeah.
But throughout the whole movie itself, I think I liked her. I can't say I didn't like her. I can't say her fear at certain times got annoying. I can't say that at all. I kind of liked everything. I felt everything that she did and said in the movie was warranted, coming from someone who'd never been in that particular position before.
Yeah.
You know, I felt everything was the way it should have been for her character.
She felt a lot like, to me, like the kid in Iron Man.
Yeah.
I can't even think of which Iron Man it was. I think it's Iron Man 2. 3? Okay. And that, like, I loved that kid in that movie, bro. Like,
Yeah.
he was literally a highlight of that movie, like, for me. Like, all the other shit that happened in the movie was really dumb, but I loved the connection that Tony made with that kid. That's why seeing him in Endgame was freaking amazing. But I will say, I was not feeling Riri the whole time. Like, I had to warm up to her. And I think that's mainly because I had no idea that she was going to be like that. Yeah, like, I don't know.
It caught me off guard.
She was mad, like, gangster. And I didn't know that was going to happen. So it threw me off guard. Hella. Yeah. Like, the way she was talking, the way she was interacting with people, I was like, what the hell is going on right now? And then when she said Okoye had an ashy-ass head, I was like, bruh, what the hell is happening? I was like...
Okoye turned real quick, was like,
you lied to me. Yeah. Bruh, I was not ready. But I think that's just because, for me, I did not want comedic relief in any way, shape, or form in this movie. And that's what Riri was. She was comedic relief, right? Yeah. And I didn't want comedic relief, but they did it in a way that was not super annoying or bad, you know? Like, it didn't ever bring me out of it. The way I kind of rate things when it comes to kids in shows is you either get homegirl from the Halo show or you get the kid from the Iron Man movie, right? Like, it's either one of those. The kid in Black Adam, he was like more on the Halo side. I wasn't a fan of that kid in Black Adam. He pissed me off. Okay, yeah, I was like, what the hell is he in this movie for? That's how it felt a lot of the times. But Riri,
we must run.
Yeah, terrible. That shit, terrible. Terrible. But Riri felt more on the Iron Man kid side, right? Like, she felt like she wasn't just in the movie to be in the movie or just to set up her own stuff. Like, it's awesome to know that she is going to spin off and that Ironheart is going to be like a direct sequel to what happens in Wakanda Forever. Like, all of that is awesome. But I just wasn't the biggest fan of her. Of just her. I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but I completely forgot she's from Chicago too. So that's why it all threw me out when she started talking and started pressing bruh and then started going in on Okoye. I was like, whoa, what the hell is going on? She is vicious. She is vicious.
I was surprised that they didn't let her keep the suit.
I wasn't.
With that said,
she was made of full vibranium, boy.
I was surprised, but then I don't know. That caught me off guard. I didn't know what to expect. Again, I have no idea how this character's supposed to work. So, I just figured after going through all that, but then again, she's not going to stay in Wakanda.
Yeah. So far, she's better than her comics, though. 100%. Like, whoa. Yeah. She's way better than she was in the comics already. So I think her show is going to be a banger, especially because her show is going to be focusing on the battle between technology and magic. So that's going to be a hit. Like, I think that's going to be a dub no matter what. That's just how I feel.
Yeah. And then there was another thing that I wanted to talk about with her. That was kind of the start between the disconnect and between the United States and Wakanda, though, for sure, was her.
Yeah.
And obviously with
that's true. I didn't even think about it like that. But
that's where that disconnect started. Actually, before that, because the ship attack that we see, they were blaming it on the Wakandans initially, and then after they meet with Ross, they're like, "What are you talking about?" And Ross is like, "That wasn't you guys. Who was it?" And they're like, "Oh, we can't tell you, but just know there's a new power at play." You know what I mean?
And that too, that's what we got to talk about as well, is Ross. So let's jump into the comments real quick, and then we'll jump back and talk about all of the government aspects of this movie. Okay, so when you think about it, this was Black Panther meets Aquaman meets Avatar. Andre, I thought that exact thing watching it. Wow, that's crazy that you said that. When they were like on the whales, I was like, yo, This is Avatar. And then when we were under the water, I was like, yo, this is Aquaman. So that's crazy that you said that, because I definitely thought that too. There was one scene where a crashing vehicle clipped through a building or something. Like, that's CW level CGI. What? I didn't see that, Marisu.
I think it was I think it was during the flooding of Wakanda, and Namor took out the helicopters. And, like, one of them crashed into a building, and it looked really weird.
Oh.
I think that's that moment there, but I could be wrong.
This movie was great. Can't compare the first Black Panther to Wakanda Forever, but truth be told, I prefer Wakanda Forever as a whole. I'm not going to lie. I low-key agree with that statement. Because I like the first Black Panther movie, but I don't think it has a lot of rewatchability. But I think Wakanda Forever has a lot of rewatchability. Just how I kind of feel right now in this moment. Like, I've watched Black Panther maybe two or three times, and that's not a movie that I'm like, oh yeah, let's go watch Black Panther again. I've never said that. Like, it's a movie that I'll watch if it's in the rotation of the Marvel movies, you know, like if I'm going through a watch through. But as far as like, oh, let's watch Black Panther, nah, it's not really happening like that. They didn't say it was cancer. Yeah, I think they purposely didn't say it was cancer, but I'm pretty sure it was pretty like, to me it was obvious that they were saying that bro was dying from cancer in the movie and not anything else, because what else would they need? What else could it be that only the heart-shaped herb could help him defeat it, you know? Like, that has to be like, that's the only, like, one of the only things that's on that level is cancer.
It was like one of the few things.
Yeah, like one of the few things that's on that level of things is cancer. And I don't think they would make up some new crazy disease for the movie either. So, like, for the MCU. So, in my eyes, I'm pretty sure it was cancer. And I'm just not a fan of that. Who said it was cancer that killed him in the movie, though? Yes, cancer killed him in real life, but this is a movie. The first part is perfect. I mean, you guys are really focusing on that. I mean, bruh, what else would it be? Just tell me what else.
We're just making our own stuff.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure. Like, yeah. I just want to. If you guys, if they would have said it was anything else, I would have been like, oh, okay. But since they purposely, like, it was a purposeful thing that they didn't say that it was what it was, and the way that they talk about it though is the way that everyone talks about cancer. I have family members that have died from cancer as well, and that's why it was just immediately, that's what it is because that's how people talk about it, you know. There was nothing we could do for him, you know, like the way that they talked about what happened is the way that cancer is usually talked about from people whose family members have passed away from cancer. And I'm just speaking from my own experience around that, and that's why it resonated with me in that way, and that's why it bothered me a little bit, because I knew what they were talking about, because that's how we were speaking about our own family members that had passed away from that disease. So that's just kind of how that's like Battery said, that's my opinion on it. That's how I took it. Ryan did consult with his family. Yeah, for sure. See the T'Challa disease plotline and link it to Namor later when Namor says he is a mutant. Could there be a role for Shuri in identifying the X gene? Ooh, I like that. But the X gene has already been identified by Lil Bruh in Ms. Marvel.
Yep.
He just didn't know what it was called. But he basically found everything that led to the X gene, if I'm not mistaken. Because he's like, oh, look at this. Your stuff is different here. This is this. The thing didn't give you powers. You already had it. You were already different. And that's kind of the same thing that happened with Monica Rambeau, to be honest. So we might even get Monica Rambeau being a mutant. Because when you think about it, that's kind of what was going on with her in WandaVision before she went through the portal and got her actual powers. The portal, not the portal, but the energy barrier or whatever the hell, the hex, that's what it was called, the hex. The hex around that city that Monica Rambeau walked through is the exact thing that unlocks her latent abilities and causes her to get powers. But the lady before, when she's scanning her body system before she even goes through it, she's like, yo, what's going on with you? You're like glowing bright, or like you're glowing or something like that. And then me and Battery, when we were watching it, we were like, yo, she just ripped that door off of that, the tank that she was in, and that was before she had powers. Like she basically just ripped the door off and threw it. So that was crazy. So, I think that she could be the one to be like, oh, this is called the X gene. But as far as it's being identified, it's already been identified by Lil Bruh from Miss Marvel. Ryan Coogler did a good job. Yeah, I agree, Nico, 100%.
Yep. Killed it.
Also, it fits given that this mysterious illness, COVID-19, affected lots of people through Phase 4. Yeah, that's true. It could be COVID, but that I don't think my guy T'Challa's going out from COVID in the show. I'm sorry, I just don't think that's happening. The problem about changing the beginning is you'd have to rework the entire climax of Shuri's story.
Yeah, and that's kind of the issue that we kind of talked about.
Do you though? Because
I think they could have done something at the beginning after the 1 year thing.
I think literally if we start with the 1 year thing and they just talk about how she tried to save him, I think it still gives you the same amount of oomph. Because, like, if we start the movie with the funeral, that's how the movie would have started if we didn't have that first part. It would have started with the funeral, them walking through Wakanda, them doing all of that, and then after the title card, get some more of her and Queen Ramonda talking about the stuff that they did, and how I know you tried to save him, and then still talk about how she's trying to create the synthetic heart-shaped herb, all of that. We could still do all of that. All of that can still be done the same way, and we can actually even spend a little bit more time in the lab with Shuri, if anything, with her actually trying to figure it out and failing a couple times throughout the movie. That's one thing that I really would have liked to see, is her trying to recreate the herb other times. But I understand why she didn't, because, you know, she was only trying to recreate it for T'Challa, not for another Black Panther to come into play. So I understand, but, you know. I agree, you don't kill off Angela Bassett in anything. She is star power. Yeah, she's definitely star power. I just was like,
yeah, I was
mind blown. Chilling in the Queen with the biggest gripe. Maybe killing the Queen was the biggest gripe I had with this movie, even though I still enjoyed it and still will watch it numerous times. Yeah, 100. I definitely thought Okoye or something was about to go out, but not her. You feel me? I knew it couldn't be Okoye because we know Okoye has her own series coming to Disney Plus, but I was still like, bruh. I was expecting the character to pass away the same way as Chadwick. I know where Shuri is coming from, having lost my own brother a year ago. If I had her intellect, I'd be doing the same. Yeah, 100%. I agree. I agree with that. Were they implying Nakia killed Namor's daughter with that sonic blast? Was the idea an eye for an eye was the idea an eye for an eye going after Ramonda? That wasn't his daughter. He was just saying child because he's 500 years old. So everyone is really a child to him. But I think that person was also a child. Like, I don't think they were like an adult. They were young. Yeah, she was young. So
it would have just been a teenager.
But that's also how, like, the Queen would talk, you know? The Queen. That's how kings and queens talk, to be honest. Like, to anyone that's like, come here, child. I'm pretty sure Ramonda even said that in the movie to somebody. Like, come here, child, you know? So... but yeah, I don't know, fam. You killed my mother. You're dying. He didn't kill her though. He didn't kill her. He just set up the things for that to happen. You know, like
he made the.
It's not like he held her head under the water and was like, you know, like you gotta die after that. But it wasn't like that. My guy just threw like 5 water bombs. I loved the water bombs as well. By the way, those water bombs were lit. But yeah, that was just, yeah, I like that. The Queen dying was not necessary to move Shuri's plot, but it gave space for M'Baku to take the throne and for sure see someone on the ancestral plane. I don't think if the Queen didn't die, I'm 100% sure that Shuri would not have tried to recreate the the Black Panther stuff. I don't think she would have at all.
She
because she still wasn't even trying to recreate it after she got kidnapped and all the shit that was going down. She did not care. She only cared about recreating the heart-shaped herb and that realizing that a Black Panther was needed after her mother died. So I believe that is a direct, like, I believe that is a huge plot point in her story, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Christian Bale didn't even want to play the role in the beginning. He was like, I kind of don't want to. That's how he was. Yo, yeah. Yeah, that was terrible, bro.
It shows.
Yeah, it definitely shows. Furious. Marisu, says, in the story of Ragnarok, Norse legend, not the movie, Loki has knowledge of the end of the world, but no one trusts him or will listen to him. That would be a beautiful thing to also show in the MCU. I just don't know where Loki's gonna show up again. You know, like we have reports last week that Owen Wilson is going to be reprising his role as Mobius for the Deadpool movie, for Deadpool 3 supposedly. But we don't know where we're gonna see Loki again. So that's really interesting to me. I hope we don't wait until like Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty to have Loki interact with people and be like, yo, y'all don't understand. Shit's about to go bad. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I would love if that's like a post-credit scene in Quantumania, though. That would be fire. The cat got the canary wing. Ayo. I'm glad they had Shuri use science to weaken him. I really appreciated that, too. Because I was like, how is they going to take out this man? Like, Brett is a savage. And I really like the way that they utilized the water. Like, he's using the water on his skin to be strong. You know what I mean? Like, he absorbs that. That's why he's always dipping back into the water. And Ryan Coogler had even said before this movie had came out that Namor is strong as the Hulk if he's near water. And it's like, no, that makes sense. You feel me? People was tripping off of that. But I'm like, bruh, chill out, yo. Everybody is tripping. They like, they're nerfing the Hulk so much. Like, bruh, how? This man is literally strong as gods. And y'all saying they nerfing Hulk? Bro, do you know what that means? He's strong as gods. Come on, bro. I freaking hate the bots. Yeah, me too. I suggest setting chat to people who have been subscribed for more than 5 minutes. That way, if bots want to spam, they at least got a sub. Yeah, I feel that. We just don't want to, we don't want to stop anybody from dropping their opinions on the movies and whatnot, especially when we do open discussions like this. I can't wait for Riri Williams' Ironheart series. A black teenager from Chicago is going to read people. Yeah, people are going to be, the intelligentsia is going to be out for this one. You feel me? For that show. They're going to be, the intelligentsia going to be wilding. Can we talk about the scroll that showed up in this movie? I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. I can't wait for them to show Riri Williams' origin story. Okay, and then now we can go into what we were going to talk about before. Okay, so the government in this movie, bruh, they was tripping off the top. Like from the start of the movie when Queen Ramonda comes in to speak for the city or for her country. And they was like, yo, as soon as she sat down, white bro was like, I just want to say we are completely appalled, disrespected, and I cannot believe that Wakanda has not shared their resources. And then the French person started going off, and Queen Ramonda was just looking. She was like, all right, well, let me tell you something. About to shit on all of you right now. And then walked their military people in that was trying to bruh, that was such a powerful beginning of that movie. And then she was like, I believe these people belong to you. And the French lady was just like, damn. Like, yeah, what did you think? Like, what you thought this was? You know what I mean? That was hilarious. I loved that. But that's just the beginning of that's like the beginning of this quote unquote second civil war that we might get into behind Vibranium. And this is really crazy.
Intense.
I just wasn't. Like,
they arrested Ross.
Yeah.
Committing treason. Like, they were throwing.
Like,
words
it was not. They weren't playing, like, at all. And I was like, whoa. Like, I couldn't believe it, man. I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect Val to show up in this movie. Like, I knew we was getting Ross all the way.
She was married to Ross.
Yeah, what the hell? I was like, yo, I felt like I was the only one who knew what was going on. And side note, she is looking different. I low-key think she might have took the soldier serum. Like, I'm not gonna lie, because she looks super different, like, than what she was looking like from the other movies that we've seen her in. I mean, when we first found out she was gonna be in the Thunderbolts, like a part of the Thunderbolts at was that San Diego Comic-Con or D23? I think it was D23. But when we found out and they showed the picture of the Thunderbolts, I was like, yo, that's not her. You know what I mean? Like, they had her in the panel with everyone else, like, standing in the picture to the side. And I was like, bruh, that's not her. She has, like, a white, purple streak in her hair and stuff. She looks younger. That's not her. But then it is her. So I'm pretty sure she took the soldier serum or something like that. But we also find out that she's the director of... What is she the director of? Like,
they don't really say.
They didn't say, right?
Sword, but
like
they don't say.
Like, I saw a lot of people say CIA.
Yeah, it probably is the CIA because Ross was talking about yeah, those are our people. There was CIA. You know, they were working with people to look for vibranium, and they all died. You know, So I think it's literally the government, so it's separate from Shield and Sword.
Yeah. So Shield's not a thing at all, though, anymore, right? I don't think Shield ever got reinstated after.
They never really talked about it.
Civil War. Is that Winter Soldier?
But I also haven't watched Agents of Shield, so I don't really know what happens.
Nah, that's not canon.
All that, but so I don't know if that. Yeah, so
that's not canon.
I don't know.
But yeah, I don't think Shield ever got reinstated. I think Sword just got boosted up to the front of that.
We haven't heard the term Shield at all.
No,
either.
We haven't heard Shield literally since Captain Marvel, basically, because Captain Marvel was set in the 90s. But that's the last time we really heard something about it. So it seems like the CIA is more of Shield now, and it's going to be really interesting because I guess the CIA. So the Thunderbolts are going to be working for the CIA, which I think is cool and weird at the same time. But
because technically the United States government, because Ross was with the government per se, and he was separate from right. And is that how it kind of worked for the Thunderbolt? Like, he didn't work with Shield or anyone. It was just mainly the government, and he kind of just took orders and then used the Thunderbolts as
Are we talking comic book?
Yeah.
In the comic books,
is it like this or is it different?
In the comic books, wait, where's the big book of Marvel? Because I don't want to read you wrong.
Right? Because it could be.
Let's see. Here we go. I just saw it. Thunderbolts. Damn. Here we go. Let's see. Their first appearance was Incredible Hulk. I didn't know that. The first appearance was Incredible Hulk, number 449, January 1997. I truly had no idea. Okay, so it says when the Fantastic Four and the Avengers disappeared after their first battle with Onslaught, Baron Zemo transformed his Masters of Evil into the Thunderbolts, giving members new identities to escape their criminal past. So in the comic books, Baron Zemo creates the Thunderbolts.
Oh, okay.
He himself became the patriotic Citizen V, leader of the new team. When the Lost Heroes returned, Zemo realized that his team had come to enjoy the lives of heroes, so he exposed their secrets to the world, hoping to force them to stay villains with him, but they turned on him instead. Damn! Damn! Cold. Poor Zemo, bruh. Yeah, so that's about it. I don't want to go into the whole thing, but
No, yeah.
it seems like the Thunderbolts are going to be more like the Dark Avengers, though, because the Dark Avengers and the Thunderbolts are not the same. But in this case, it kind of seems like they're going to be blending them together a little bit. Um,
Mhm.
I'm hoping for the Dark Avengers, and I'm hoping that we get Doctor Doom
Yeah, that's
more
something
as our
we
Norman
definitely talked
Osborn.
about
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, that political strife that they made, with everything like that, ended up arresting Ross, and then not only that, later on they helped break him out.
yeah,
I can imagine
Okoye.
what that's going to fucking cause. Yeah, uh, and I think what Namor said to one of his generals at the end was kind of like
Mm.
made a lot of sense, and that kind of made me okay. We're going towards a really dark path. He's like,
Yeah,
look,
who said that there was going to be hope in the future? This movie did
yeah,
not end on a note of
he was
hope.
like, how could you yield, or how could you let this happen? Like you said you were going to kill them.
How dare you kneel to the Wakandans? I think that's what she
Yeah,
said.
he's like, look,
Namora.
she let me live, and like blah blah blah. And then at the end of it, it's like, look, the surface world is going to turn on Wakanda. At which point
They will turn to
Wakanda's going
us.
to look to us, and then we will take over the surface world. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is going to be super dark. And the way they set up that political strife between the surface world, Wakanda, and like how methodical Namor's thought process was pretty cool.
And I loved
Um,
Namor's backstory and his name being him
Yeah.
without love. And oh my god, bro, like that. This movie hit every point that I needed it to. The only things I wish is that the CGI was better. That was just like, bruh. I was like, God damn it! Like, I was like, what's going on with this? And I believe, like, I saw a couple people talking about how like there was no reason for Val and Ross to be in this movie. I'm like, yo, yes, it was. It was a complete reason, especially when we're talking about the director.
Movie. With,
Yeah,
yeah.
especially when we're talking about the
Like
director of the CIA. Of course, they would be investigating what's going on with vibranium. That makes all of the sense. Like, that makes so much sense that I can't even fathom anything else happening, to be honest. Like, because
they know. It's like,
if it wasn't her, it would have been
we
like
compete.
if Harrison Ford was already our General Ross, like now, I think that he would have been in this movie. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure he would have been in the movie talking about vibranium instead of Val, because it's like, to me, having her in this movie talking about what she was talking about was on the equivalent of General Ross coming to the Avengers in Civil War and asking them, do you know where Hulk and Thor is? If I lost 2 nukes, I would have some answering to do to somebody. So that's kind of what this felt like to me, was like, bruh, we need this vibranium. And then he's like, have you ever thought about what we would do with vibranium if we had it? And she was like, yeah, I dream about what we would do with vibranium if we had it. I was like, oh shit, this is about to get crazy. Like, we could see Captain America New World Order be all about the Wakanda fights. You know what I mean? Like, the Thunderbolts ends Phase 5, if I'm not mistaken. Thunderbolts or New World Order. One of those movies ends Phase 5. And bruv, yeah, like how else do we know what's about to happen? And that's how I feel. Like, these movies, it blows my mind how much MCU fans teeter-totter on the things that they say. Like, we beg for cohesiveness and continuity and connective tissue, and then we get it, and then people are like, it doesn't even make sense why this is happening. Like, bro, what? Yeah. Like, this is what we've been saying we need for for how long? Like, and especially Ross. Like, it makes sense that Ross was in the movie, because who else would they have talked to about the things that are going on? They don't have any other inside man. They've been using not General Ross, Agent Ross. I don't know what the hell his name is, but they've been using him, as their inside man. And I think that's a dub. Like, I don't have any issues with any of that. I liked all of it. I feel like for a lot of people, it was just a lot to have in this movie because we didn't have Chadwick, man. And it's just, there's no way to get around that, there's no way to get around that. And if they recasted T'Challa, all everyone would have been able to talk about is how they're not as good as T'Challa. I mean, as Chadwick Boseman. Like, that's all we would have been able to talk about. Because Chadwick Boseman is,
what are they gonna do? Have a different face on a mural?
Like,
right? Change the whole mural.
No, there is no mural because he would still be alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. Like, bro, I don't know. That's not the strat.
It's a whole different vibe.
Yeah, it's a whole different vibe. I don't think I would have been there for it at all.
So another interesting aspect that we haven't really talked about. We talked about it briefly at the beginning for non-spoiler, but Namor, his home world, the use of water. You know, for me, the water, some of it looked good, some of it looked bad. It
was Shuri being in that suit for me, like just kind of floating around like this everywhere. I was like,
But overall, though, his world was beautiful, man. And I think this movie, like we talked about before, it had a way with creating stunning moments.
Subtle world building too.
Yep, the music, the world building. I think everything was pretty cool, and like the way Namor held himself, the way he talked to the Queen, the way he talked to Shuri, and how like he really wasn't trying to, like, he's just a king, understands that he needs to protect his people, you know. Like the whole time there, I couldn't see him as a villain, you know.
Yep.
And I think he wasn't wrong for asking the things that he was asking of Shuri. I just think Shuri, you know, with everything going on, I don't know. It's a hard call. Do you give up Riri Williams, or do you not? You know, that's a tough call.
And that kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier with the whole, this movie kind of being the fight between the old way of things and the new way of things, right? Like, because Namor was
Killmonger?
super.
Oh, she's dead.
Namor, yeah, Namor was super heavy on the old way, and Namor felt like Killmonger and T'Chaka in one person, right? Like, because T'Chaka literally murdered his brother to protect the way of Wakanda.
Killmonger even said it.
No, yeah, like literally. So,
was like, yeah, if it was your grandpa, he would have sacrificed that girl in a heartbeat.
I mean, shit, he killed his brother. You know, bro, like I really loved.
She was like, oh damn, you're right. And I was like, yeah, he's fucking right.
Like, yo, it was literally T'Challa that came through trying to be on a different hype, like no one else. And then I loved when he was like, so what do you want to do? You gonna be like your brother, or you gonna be like me? I was like, oh shit!
You be like me and get shit done. I was like, oh my god,
we getting shit done.
I was like, oh my god.
And then how they waited until like later to show us what she actually said back to him. I was like, oh yeah, bro, I need all of that. That was fire, yo.
That moment when he showed up, man, was so cool, man. I'm so
bruh, sitting in the throne. As soon as we went into the throne room, I was like, oh my god, that's gonna be Killmonger. I was like looking at the screen, I was like, bro, that's gonna be Killmonger. That's gonna be Killmonger. And then as they walk towards and they rotate, and my man's just sitting in the throne with the white, bro, with the locks, like, looking like comic book accurate Killmonger, bro.
What is even happening?
Bro, yeah.
That's wild, bro.
And he said, "What's up, little cousin?" Bro, yeah. Give me all of that. Bro, hands down, Killmonger is one of the dopest villains that we've got in the MCU, bro. Namor is right there with him now, though. I'm not gonna lie. No, Namor was on straight demon time.
I just thought back to the fucking what if with Killmonger, and I was like, bro, if this man was alive, God help.
The MCU would be completely different, bro. Like, yeah, he probably would have took over everything already, bro.
Veronica, dead. She'd be gone. Like, they would have took her out day one. Like, yo, nah, we can't trust this woman. She needs to go. Ross, he's annoying.
Dead.
Take him out. You know, like, yo, dead. Gone. You know, and like, you know what was interesting too, because we didn't really talk about this, but it kind of goes back to the ferociousness, but like the loyalty that you can kind of see in like the Wakandan society. Goes back to when the Queen dishonored Okoye.
Oh,
like,
shit.
Yo, and he was like, you lost my daughter. When Killmonger took the throne, I told you what he was going to do, yet you stood by his side, you know, and went on to say some other things. And I was like,
she was like, you've put everything in. She's like, you've lost everything. have I not sacrificed enough? I've lost my husband. I've lost my husband, my son, and now my daughter is lost too. Because you could not protect her. I told you not to take her. I told you not to take her, and now she is gone. She said, she said, where's your husband? He's in a jail cell. You can still go see him. You can visit him. Where's my husband? I was like, oh shit. Oh shit. This is the best movie ever. At that moment, that's when I was like, this is the best movie ever. But then she died, and I was like, well, never mind. But no, for real. But for real, it was like, holy shit. And then the emotion that Okoye showed, and the emotion between Angela Bassett, and oh my god, it was literally one of the best monologues that we've got in a while from the MCU. Yo, there was definitely a couple monologues in this movie, and it was just like, damn, yeah. And yo, once again, like the Queen shined in this movie. It was ridiculous. How did you feel about the Archangel suits, or whatever the hell they were called, that Okoye and other homegirl got?
I just was like, is this Hellboy?
Not Hellboy.
Like, that's literally what kept coming to my head. Like, do you know what I'm talking about in Hellboy?
I think I know what you're talking about. The
fish dude.
Yeah, the water guy with the things on his gills, right? So he can breathe and stuff.
I just kept seeing the water guy. And I was like, Abe Aspen. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
And I just kept seeing it, but it was cool. I think maybe the colors need to change a little bit. I don't know about the blue and gold, but I thought it was pretty cool.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that's from the comics. I don't know if they made that new or if that's from the comics. I don't know.
I was kind of upset they got like
Midnight Angels. That's what they're called.
For sure.
The Midnight Angels. Right, can we also talk about how many people actually died? Like, how many Wakandans literally died?
Yeah.
Like,
that's where I was about to go, because
on that ship, huh?
Right. On the ship, not like leading up to that.
Oh, okay,
right?
Okay.
Like, we see Shuri understands. We see Okoye. They see how strong these. Can we call them Atlanteans, or can we
Talikans?
Talikans. Okay, so like they're strong as hell.
And they have like regenerative properties.
Yeah, they have
as well.
regenerative powers. And so I just thought to myself, you would think, maybe they'd use weapons to kind of help combat that, or like, learn from their battle, but their fights that throughout the movie. But they didn't really do that. I figured after
Homegirl shot, I thought after Homegirl shot that one with the sonic gun, I thought
sure,
all of them were gonna have sonic guns. I was like, oh, yep.
I thought all of them were gonna have sonic guns. I thought they were gonna be mobilized.
Yep.
I thought they were gonna be ready for war. But no, they were like, it's just a normal day.
And these MFs went to the middle of the ocean to fight. Like, bro, y'all didn't even choose a battleground like that. Y'all fought on their terms.
And like, so when they were on the ship, I expected them to have like weapons to actually allow them to fight and survive. No, they were still using wooden sticks and shit. I was like, what?
Well, to be fair, they used their vibranium weapons. It's just that the Talokans also had vibranium weapons. So and that's what they even said in the movie. It was like, we've never fought anyone evenly matched to us. So what the hell do we do now? Like, and it's like,
superhuman strength.
Yeah, you're about to get worked. And they did get worked.
And I just thought from the beginning of the movie, when we first encountered them to the last time, I figured they'd come up with a better alternative to just hand-to-hand combat, which they know they probably can't win.
And to be fair, they might not have hella of those sonic gun things, because they are a very traditional type of society. So they might not have just guns and guns on deck. They probably make...
With that said, I think this goes back to the Killmonger situation where, like...
Oh, yeah. Facts.
T'Challa probably wasn't into that whole building weapons vibe with vibranium, If Killmonger was there, they would have had everything.
Oh yeah. Hey, like, that is a really good point. That's a
Right.
really good
You would
point,
have had
though.
the whole underwater city nuked already.
No,
Like, you
that's
know what I mean?
I'm not gonna lie. I think if Killmonger was still alive, they definitely would have took any L's like they did in this
they
movie.
wouldn't
Like,
have taken L's like that. They
like
would have been prepared way more than they were this one. Like I was, like that kind of made me angry that when the city was first attacked, I was like, I thought you guys would be more prepared for this, but they weren't, and it caught me off guard when I watched that.
it made a
And
lot of
didn't
sense
occur
for
to me
them
until
not
just
to
now.
be prepared though, because they've been a secret city this entire time, and I don't think they've ever fought in any wars that weren't like internal with just Wakanda against Wakanda type of vibe. And even then, like all of the nations still rock with each other, and they only battle to see who will be the next ruler type of shit. So it made sense for them not to be prepared for an all-out war with a team with people that have vibranium as well, right? Like, I mean, even if you look at Infinity War, when they have their final fight in Wakanda, they don't have any guns. They're all fighting with spears and with their vibranium weapons and the rhinos and all that type of shit, you know? They're fighting with all of that, which makes sense. But I do understand what you're saying, though. Like, all the way. I do feel you for sure, because I was a little thrown off with that, too. I was like, bruh, she literally just murdered one of them. That's what's causing the war. Why can you guys not kill any of them now?
Shuri even said in that moment, no, if we don't help her, it's going to start a war between Wakanda and like, that wasn't even talked about after that had happened. It wasn't even brought up. It's like, yo, we need to prepare ourselves. We're going to, like, they secured the border, and that was it.
But to be fair as well, to me, what it kind of seemed like is not all of them have the regenerative powers. I don't know why. It just seemed like only the warriors were like that. You know what I mean? Like, maybe there's a mutation for only some of them to become that type of vibe, or maybe I don't know what the hell it could have been, but it was just really interesting. And it's really interesting how their herb changed them versus how the heart-shaped herbs changed them. That was just something that I was like, I didn't know how to feel about that either. I was like, vibranium enriched soil is at another place? Like,
yeah, I wasn't expecting that, so I'm also curious where they're going to go with the mutant thing. So, like, does everyone have to eat an herb to be a mutant, or is there, like, another card here that...
Well, all the Talokans weren't mutants. Like, the original Talokans got mutated, but being mutated doesn't mean you're a mutant. Like, you have to be born with it to be a mutant, and that's what makes him different, and that's why he didn't change colors going out of water. That's why he could fly with the little wings on his feet. The Talokans that's just what they are now. Like, you know, after their parents type thing, you know, that they were all the ones to first take it, and then all of the society from them spawned to be that as well, which makes sense. But he's different because he was, as an embryo and all that type of stuff, he was a human basically that whole time. And then when his mom's like 6 months pregnant, she eats the herb, and now, bruh's like, for the rest of his gestation period, he's now mutating into something different. So I really liked his backstory as well. I don't think we talked about his backstory too much, but I loved the backstory. All of that was really dope. I had a really good time with all of that, and it was really interesting. I loved the silent, quote unquote, silent world building that they did while they were underwater. Just letting us see all of the things that they were doing as their society. And then at the end of the movie, seeing Shuri put those, like, replicating what they were doing in Talokan to what they were doing in Wakanda. Like, oh wow, they're just living their lives doing what they do the same way we live our lives and do what we do.
And that's why I like the connection the two of them had. And
I
really
definitely thought they was about to.
Yeah,
I was like, you. We're ending this war with marriage.
I was happy with the way they went with the bracelet. I thought for sure there was a moment where I was like, oh damn, she's about to rip it off her wrist.
I thought she was gonna. Yeah, I felt that too.
But I liked the way
more powerful.
You know, yeah, and she actually utilized it to, like,
recreate the heart.
And she didn't destroy it either. She just took a little sample from it and recreated the heart.
She what's it called?
That was really cool.
Unwinded it or whatever, because it, you know, like unraveled. Yeah, I think it's unraveled. She unraveled thingamajigger. I think it was dope. I thought it was dope. And I'm not gonna lie, one of my theories leaving this movie is we might actually see, Namor and Shuri come together in the future on the same vibe that Black Panther and Storm did in the comic books. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would not be against that. I'm not gonna lie, because the chemistry was there. Like,
even said, just keep me here.
Yeah.
Just let her go.
I thought, yeah, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, hold up, what is she saying though? It kind of seemed like they was trying to do the bump and grind, my friend. You feel me? So I was like, it's getting spicy underwater. The temperature is rising underwater. There might be one of them underwater volcanoes nearby or something. But that was all awesome, and I freaking loved the sun thing that he got for his people. As a person who literally just finished season 1 Game of Thrones, all I could think about was that giant thing in Game of Thrones at the beginning that's like the sun and it's all rotating. That's exactly what it looked like. You know what I mean? And the intro of Game of Thrones, that big thing and it has like the metal things going around it. That's exactly what that's. By the way, I just finished the first season, bro.
Oh, you just finished the first season?
Incredible.
Bro, seasons 2 through
incredible.
2, 3, and 4, wild, bro.
Yeah, I believe it, bro. That first season was insane. When they took off bruh's head, I was like, oh.
Is that how the season 1 ends? Is him dying?
Nah, bro. The season 1 ends with all of the North kneeling to Robb. And then Jon Snow going out into the beyond the wall.
The South.
Yeah, the South, yeah.
Or the North, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the North, because they are South, and then the North.
Yeah.
And then the youngest sons both had the vision of their dad dying, which I thought was crazy lit. I love that show, bro. Like, I don't think I would have loved that show as much if I didn't watch House of the Dragon first, just to be honest. Like, just.
Let me show you what I bought.
Oh shit. My man got a one of one replica of the dagger. Oh, that's lit. What the hell is that? Yo, the Rise of the Dragon.
It's basically an illustrated anthology of all the history of the Targaryens, bro.
Oh, that's fire.
It just came out a couple weeks ago. I was at Target the other day, and it has like never before seen art, like new art and everything in it, and it's like an illustrated book, bro. Like it has descriptions on like all the Targaryen stuff and whatnot.
Yo, that's fire, bro. That's like a lit.
It talks about all the different dragons and like who rode them, the specific kings, just the Targaryen history.
Yeah, that's fire. That's fire. And I loved hearing all the different names and like hearing Viserys' name again, but it not being Viserys and Aegon and Aemon and oh yeah, it was just lovely. It was awesome.
Like this is right here. I'm pretty sure. So like this is in the north, and I think this is possibly the guy that we might see.
The kid
in charge of the north. Yeah, this might be the kid from the north that was
that smacked the other bro. That would be so lit.
We'll see.
Definitely got to bring him back for season 2. Okay. Let me think.
Those are kind of. I mean,
that's kind of like all the stuff. I think.
And credit.
Hold on. I just want to make sure that's everything. I do believe that we're gonna see all of the stuff with Riri again in her Ironheart show. I feel like there might be a secret for her in the car that they rebuilt for her. I think there might be something in there. That garage that we got introduced to, I think she's still going to be in that garage. Her dorm room that she had at MIT, I think that's going to be the same. I think a lot of those even the dude that she talked to that she was helping him with his homework, I'm pretty sure he'll be in the show. You know what I mean? Like just little things like that seem like they're going to be very prevalent in the future of the MCU. The littest fight scene for me was on the bridge with Okoye and Atuma. Holy
I was about to say that was what I was going to say until I forgot. The respect that those two warriors had,
bruh, they had so
wanted
much
to kill each other
respect.
was wild. And I just thought,
all I could see when he threw the spear back at her was when Vader broke Reva's lightsaber in half and gave her the other end and was like, come on, let's do this. I was like, oh,
for
this
me,
is
it
peak.
was like, what is it? It was like the warrior dude. For me, it was kind of like, I fought someone this skilled in
years.
a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like, let's have some fun with this. And like, that's the vibe I got. And I was like, and even Okoye, I think she felt the same way until she started getting
that ass whooped.
Getting whooped. And I was like, ah, damn. And then she just gets blown up and blown off and flies away. And I was like, ah, damn.
Bro, the way that they popped off of a freaking whale? What? I was like, that's the dopest shit ever. You just see a whale come out of the ground. I was like, bro, what's out the water? I was like, what's about to happen? 17 people jumped off. I was like, oh, shit. They are
She takes them all out, too.
vicious.
Except the one.
And then I was like, they threw her into water. And then they all got into the water. I was like, oh man. When Okoye went in the water, I was like, oh man, she's dead. I definitely thought she was about to get drowned at that point.
I think that it's because they understand.
Mm-hmm.
They understand if they killed her, okay, we're gonna start something we probably don't want without Namor's blessing.
They definitely understood how politics work, basically.
Yeah.
They all did. But they better shit,
especially
right?
Because Shuri like offered herself to see the king as well, you know. But if they were there for violence, they would have took her out for sure.
And that shit was awesome, though. That was so dope. That was one of the best fights in the movie. Definitely gave me Winter Soldier versus Captain America when they fought. Like, it gave me those type of vibes again. It was just so lit. Like, this movie is definitely getting us back on track for what we need. All right, so we can talk about the post-credit scene, but let's get back into the chat, and then we can go into the post-credit scene. Valerie wasn't needed. Frankly, I could have done with less of Ross. I honestly wanted more of both of them, to be completely honest.
I liked Ross.
Yeah.
I liked the interactions between the Wakandans and him and the relationship they had.
Especially because Val was trying to get back with Brad. She was trying to rock with him.
Yeah.
Or that was all part of the plan. But I think she was really trying to...
She had it
bugged
the whole time.
That rubbed me the wrong way.
I
was like, how in the hell did they bug Wakandan technology? What the hell is this?
Unless they bugged his phone, but I don't know.
Nah, she said we bugged the bracelet before you found it. Like this, I'm like, bro, how did you bug it though? Like, who did that? Who is smart enough to hack? Well, maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's just like a bug in a phone. I don't know. Who knows? Mm-hmm. Marisu says, I found myself disgusted with Riri for her homework for hire scheme. I know it shows how smart she is, but I don't think the writers appreciate how valued academic integrity is at places like MIT. Did that rub anybody else the wrong way? Nah, Marisu, it was just you. But it's okay. It's okay, because I respect that. Yeah, I respect it, because I don't think a lot of people have an understanding of the appreciation of value of, academic integrity at MIT. I don't think that's on people's minds right away.
With that said, I wouldn't doubt it if there's people just like her at MIT right now doing the same.
I was about to say, and you gotta also look.
That's the reality.
Look at what was going on even in Spider-Man, right? Like in Spider-Man with MIT, like they were not like that was. Bro wasn't accepted because he was academically inclined. You know what I'm saying? Like it's because my boy was Spider-Man, and then saved her life, and all that type of stuff. But then it changed because no one remembered who he was. But like, and Mary Sue, you were also tripping off of She-Hulk, I think, because of the lawyer stuff that was going on, and you was like, that is not how a lawyer would be. So you got more of a realistic outlook for everything, and there's nothing wrong with that. You let us know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So there are probably some people out there that was like, what the hell? She needs to be removed from MIT. And she is the genius. Other bruh just wasn't. They ain't got nothing to do with her. Her integrity is solid because she ain't cheating. He is. But, I mean, I guess it takes two to tango. Christian Bale said he hated the role. I think Christian Bale was a better role in The Dark Knight. He was cool. He was cool. Man, just went back and watched one of those movies. I was like, this choreography is terrible. This is not how Batman would fight at all. Batman and Bane, when they're fighting, it's like, this does not seem like two dudes that are from the shadow. This is
the other day too.
These are not two.
Now that you think of it, I was watching it and I thought to myself, damn, this fighting is not that impressive.
These dudes, so you telling me both of these dudes was raised in the League of Assassins? Nah, fam. Like, nah. These dudes fought with the League of Assassins? I don't think so. Andre says, other than the Queen's death, the other big surprise was who was sitting on the throne after Shuri took the herb. I guess Michael B. Jordan does appear in every Coogler movie. I mean, we knew that he was going to be in. We knew that was going to happen in this movie for hella long, though. Like, we knew Shuri was going to take the herb. We knew that she was going to see Michael B. Jordan. She thought she was going to see T'Challa or the Queen, but we didn't know about the Queen dying, though. But what we heard was that she was going to take the herb, and then she thought she was going to see the Queen, or not the Queen. She thought she was going to see her dad or T'Challa, but instead sees Michael B. Jordan's character Killmonger, and then Killmonger lets her know, like, bruh, you got to be a little bit more vicious than what everyone else was. We've known that for about, like, 6 months to a year, I want to say. Like, we've known that for a fat minute. And we knew about the post-credit scene, what we're not going to talk about yet. Val is a Skrull. Oh, you think Val is going to be a Skrull?
I think we've talked about that being a possibility.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against that. I wouldn't be against that at all. I'm going to be honest. Queen Ramonda embarrassed the French. Oh, yeah, she did. For sure. Thunderbolts are going to... What? Oh, yeah, she definitely...
definitely...
That shit was hilarious, too.
Not only that, told everyone else, hey, yo, this is a proof here, too.
Yeah. That was awesome.
The girl sitting on the mic was just like...
She really was, though. That shit was hilarious.
Like, shit.
Everybody was like, oh.
No comment at this time. Yeah. Yeah.
I loved how she came in with her, like, Queen's Guard and how they all just put the mics down. Like, bro, peak. Like, bro, we ain't got nothing to say. It's just her. I love it. Mm-hmm. The Dora Milaje went all John Wick on the French. Yo, I love the Dora Milaje. They're awesome. I hope the Okoye series focuses heavily on the Dora Milaje. And I'm hoping that, you know, maybe she's not in that Midnight Angel suit so much. I'm hoping that's like a last resort type of thing, because that takes a lot away from...
Well, she hates the suit.
Oh, yeah, she did hate the suit. That's right.
She just needed it to fight them because she understood how much stronger they are compared to them, you know?
And they were dumbass stronger. Yeah. It wasn't just regenerative. It wasn't just regenerative powers. They were also
like little mini
strong
holes.
As shit. Yes, for real. They were like mini Wolverines. Yep, because they got the regenerative power and everything, so they was out there. When Ramonda was going off on special forces attempting to rob her, I was like, please don't be American. Please don't be American. Yo, for real.
And then they started talking. I was like, okay, this is French. I was like, I'm pretty sure they were the Frenchmen, so I was like, okay, yeah, this girl's about to get freaking destroyed in front of everyone.
That beginning fight scene was dope as hell, too, of, you know, like... having them just secretly be there waiting, and then they just started whooping ass.
God thought, damn, is someone really about to get away with hella vibranium right now?
That's what I thought too.
This is this easy. No way.
And then the Dora Milaje just came out the darkness like Batman, and they just started whooping ass. I was like, yes, sir. Man, were you as surprised as I was about how good of a fighter and flexible Shuri was when she got the art-shaped herb, bruh? Like, she was sliding and doing backflips. She was whooping ass. I was like, holy.
She trained with her brother.
Yeah, exactly. But it just took me by surprise at how much she was actually like, she was like sliding with the, and I was like, damn. But that's battle IQ as well. Her IQ is through the roof, so. Don't forget Martin Freeman shows up looking like he is on the run in Secret Invasion. He does. Martin Freeman is Ross, if I'm not mistaken. I think his real life name in real life is Martin Freeman. Yeah, it is. Ross. The white dude. The colonizer that she saves at the end. bro, we've been talking about him this entire time.
Oh, I know.
Oh, I was like, let's go.
What scene is that specifically? Like when he was in chains?
No. In Secret Invasion, the trailer for Secret Invasion, we see Ross, and he's looking.
Oh,
and
I haven't seen that trailer. That's why I'm confused. Yes.
You haven't seen the Secret Invasion trailer, Battery?
I haven't watched any of that stuff,
bro.
Because in the event that we end up having time to watch it for the channel, I haven't watched any of it. So I didn't even watch the Ant-Man trailer until I was in the theater.
Bro, the Secret Invasion trailer is hands down one of the best trailers that we've ever got for a Marvel thing, bro. Like, Secret Invasion is going to be one of the best Marvel Disney Plus shows that we get. 100%. The vibe, the tone, the act, like, yeah, bro, it's going to be insane. And we got Emilia Clarke in it as well. It's just going to be balls to the wall amazing, bro. What? I can't believe I didn't know you haven't seen that yet, yo.
Yeah.
Bro, I saw those immediately when they were dropped. I think because it was during San Diego Comic-Con or Disney or D23. It was one of those. So we were live and we were just watching all the stuff that was coming out, and it was freaking insane. It's not that Ross wasn't needed. I don't think we need it as much as of him and Valerie. I would have preferred the time went to someone like Okoye. I feel you, but Okoye is already getting her an entire Disney Plus series for her, where they're going to fully go into a lot of that stuff. Namor is most likely going to get his own movie as well, where they're going to go into a lot of the stuff, and we'll probably be able to see more of Atuma and Namora in that. So I don't think they were focusing on any of that stuff like that, because it's going to come in the future. It's not coming right away. So I don't really know what else. Like, I would have liked to see Okoye maybe go and visit the dude, like visit bruh in jail or something. I would have liked to see that. But other than that, I think we didn't even spend a lot of time with Ross and Val, like, at all. Like, we really didn't spend a lot of time with them. And I think the time that we did spend with them was needed to set up a lot of the stuff in the future of the MCU that's going to be happening as well. So I'm not mad at it. The problem is that Wakanda Forever was already long, but I could have stayed in this world longer. Yeah, I could have definitely went with the extra 20 minutes and this been a full 3-hour movie. And those extra 20 minutes do what you're talking about. Like, go into those different people. Yep. I would have been fine with that. Angela Bassett killed those speeches. I agree. Colors seemed a little distracting on the Midnight Angel suits. Didn't get a Wakandan vibe. Really?
That's why I figured. I thought they should have changed the color to like a purple or black.
Really?
Yeah, it was a little weird for me. Or like the gold and black. That's why I was like thinking Hellboy when I saw the suits originally, because it reminded me of like the color scheme you would see in Hellboy or something like that. Or in like a Guillermo del Toro movie, but like not.
Well, the colors of them are the same colors that they are in the comic books with the Midnight Angels. Yeah, because the Midnight Angels are in the comics, and they actually look a little. Here we go. I'll show you right now. Nope, not copy. Let's see. And then share.
See, I feel like the blue in the movie was way brighter than that, though. Maybe because it's nighttime in this picture as well.
Yeah, it is nighttime in this picture. But the suit in the movie did not have as many. It had more. Full suit. Yeah, exactly, and it had more.
It didn't have the openings like that.
Stuff. Yeah, it wasn't just all blue.
Yeah, it was a lot more gold.
It was a lot like Shuri's Black Panther suit, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which, if I do say so myself, was amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty dope. And I like how it was like the female version of like Killmonger's suit too.
Yes.
Almost.
It definitely was. The Midnight Angel suits, I think they're going to show up in a show, right? It would make sense if they showed up in a show. I wouldn't be against it at all.
But again, Okoye hates the suits.
Yeah, she does hate the suits.
Was opposed to the suits, actually.
I I just have low expectations for those suits to really make an appearance again. And if they do make an appearance, I don't think Okoye is going to be rocking it. I think it's going to be the other girl that was wearing it and somebody else. Mm-hmm. And I'm down for that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm here for all of it. G. I'm not even gonna play. It seems like it's gonna be a vibe. I just don't want more Iron Man suits. But I think that those suits are probably going to enter into Armor Wars as well. You know, it's like, how many of these type of things are we going to have? And I would like Armor Wars to kind of go through and destroy a lot of the things so we don't have everybody just flying around in freaking Iron Man suits. Even though it makes sense for that to happen in the MCU because of how big of impact Iron Man had on the entire world. They literally celebrate my guy. So I'm here for it. I'll be surprised if Angela Bassett does not at least get an Oscar nomination for her performance. Oh, facts. I think she's going to get an Oscar nomination for sure. I don't think she wouldn't get one. Namor's backstory was powerful. Yes, it was. Extremely powerful. Shuri is definitely a scientist first. Yeah, that's facts. And one of the this is another thing that kind of allowed me to not be so mad about the beginning, I guess, is that when you look at it, Shuri has failed to save her brother twice. Because in Infinity War, she didn't get the gem out of Vision's head fast enough. She wasn't working fast enough. So literally her not working fast enough is the reason why T'Challa got snapped, and the snap happened. So who knows how much guilt she feels because of that already, right? Because she literally didn't work fast enough to do that. And then she also doesn't work fast enough again, and then her brother really dies this time. So that's why I was like, okay, I can appreciate that story, like that character development, that plot device, I guess, of, man, like, no matter how smart I am, I still didn't work fast enough to save my brother. 2 times. Mm-hmm. Would you see this portrayal of Namor as an anti-hero? To me, he left this movie as a villain still. I mean, he was never a villain in this movie, to be completely honest. He was just the bad guy. He was just the antagonist. He was never the villain.
Another king protecting his kingdom.
Yeah, he was just protecting the kingdom and doing what he thought was right. The same way, like, I didn't go out of Black Panther thinking that T'Chaka was a villain, by any means. I just thought T'Chaka was just wrong in his ways and, didn't really understand what was going on. Like, to Killmonger, T'Chaka was a villain for sure, but that doesn't mean he was a villain. Heroes, good people do bad things all the time. Good people do bad things for the wrong reasons all the time, or do good things for the bad reasons all the time. That's just how it goes. So I don't feel like he was a villain. I just feel like he was, like, I don't even know. I guess you can say anti-hero, but I just feel like he was doing what he thought was right,
Yeah, I think that's how I felt about him as well. But I think he played that character really well.
Oh, yeah.
I can't say I would have it any other way.
Mm-hmm.
If he was a villain, Wakanda would have been destroyed this movie, for sure. Because he had, like, several... He could have destroyed it the first time he attacked, but he didn't.
He didn't want to destroy Wakanda. He didn't want to do any of that. He just wanted Riri Williams. And he wanted Riri Williams for a smart reason, bruh. He was like, nobody that has the intelligence to create something that can find vibranium should be alive. I agree with that. I'm not gonna lie. That is a level of intelligence that some people don't need, my guy, because if the world gets vibranium, it would be terrible. We know these governments of the world in real life are already using everything that they can to bruh. Like, imagine
knowing that superheroes
yeah,
are in the world. Too.
like knowing superheroes and all this stuff is going on, and they would literally do the worst things possible with vibranium. They would make vibranium bullets immediately, just everything, because it's like, how do we fight against the world and all this? How do we fight against? Yeah, it's gonna be insane. It's good. Yeah. I like that though. I was a fan of that. I think it was a good move, a good decision as well. I just liked it. Namor is charismatic, but I don't think they had any romantic chemistry. But they were definitely vibing. Oh, I don't know, G. I think
I don't know. They feel like they have something.
I feel like it was about to get real spicy, bro. If they would have,
that water started to get boiled off a couple moments. You know?
Yeah. Like, if she would have stayed down there, they definitely was having some little Wakandan Talokan kids. You feel me? All the way. When Namor suggested he and Shuri burn the world together, man, let me tell you, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's what we're talking about too. It's like, yo, he was literally, to me, he was offering her the chance for them to like come together and literally go crazy from the world. And it just, I really liked it. I really liked that part, all of that. Mm-hmm. I was loving it. Riri's car at the end was so cool. That's true. It was really dope. I liked it.
The first time I saw that car, I was like, "Oh, damn, this is a vehicle right here."
Facts. I was hurt when Okoye just launched her spear through the back of the car. Yeah. I was like, "Oh, like, what? No!
What is that?"
Okoye, no! Why did you do this?" Mm-hmm. That was crazy. The movie colors for Midnight Angels was very teal-like. It was, and I think that was because of the like gold type of thing that they were doing. You know, like the colors are very vibrant on vibranium. Period. So that's what made it like make sense to me.
Almost like a glow.
Yes, almost like a glow. Again, calling Val being discovered at the end of Thunderbolts as a Skrull and Baron Zemo taking over the Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts end phase 5, so it's a perfect end to lead to a Skrull war. Bro, that's actually a really good theory right there. I'm not gonna lie.
That sounds kind of lit.
Yeah, that sounds pretty legit. Yeah, I like that, to be honest, but No, I like that. I think I like that, and it makes the most sense as well, especially where we're going with the secret invasion. I don't even know when we're getting it, but I love that. Yeah, I love all of it. Did I miss how the movie fixes the fact that Riri is going back to MIT still with the knowledge of how to build the vibranium detector?
That was a little weird.
What do you mean?
I asked the same. Like, she's going back to where she came from, knowing that the government's looking for her to build the machine again. You know what I mean? Now, apparently they fixed...
She didn't build the machine for them, though.
Oh, I know, but, like, she knows how to build it. And they're going to probably go after her to force her to potentially do it again. But I think she's smart enough to possibly get out of that situation. But, I don't know. I was a little caught off by that, too. Because, again, I was like, dang. Like, I don't know what the Wakandans is to get the police off her back, but, like, did they tell the police, like, hey, like, don't bother her for the machine? Or, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just was, because I'm assuming they're going to continue going after.
But they were never going after Riri, ever.
They needed to go after her just because they needed her to make another machine. That's why they were so important to the director. Like, that's why they were going there in the first place.
They were going...
It wasn't because the Wakanda's there.
No, yeah, that's the exact reason why. It was because of the Wakandans. They were watching they thought the Wakandans were trying to kidnap her.
But another part of it was because they wanted her to make another machine. Since the one they had was the only one that was there was destroyed and taken. So they wanted to get her to build another one. But by that point, the Wakandans were there, and it just so happened, you know, and it worked out the way it did. But like,
really, I could have swore that they were
talked
just
about in the movie.
Yeah, I know they talked about it. I thought they said that. I must not have heard that part, because what I heard was that they weren't there for, like, they were there because they thought that the Wakandans were trying to kidnap her because of what she did, because of what happened with the Talokans, because they thought the Talokans were Wakandans the whole time, so they thought that they were trying to kidnap Riri Williams because all of the stuff that was going on with the Talokan, because Riri didn't know anything about the CIA. She didn't know that they even took her machine. She didn't know anything about that at all. And they were there strictly for they weren't even there for her. They were there for Okoye and other homegirl. Like, that was the whole point that they pulled up on them. So I just didn't know that I didn't know that the government wanted Riri Williams at all. They didn't even talk about her one time. Like, from what I saw, they were always talking about the Wakandans. And that's why it was so big about the Talokans, because that
they didn't talk about it specifically. It was the Wakandans that talked about it. It was like, look, if we can get to her before the U.S. government, because the U.S. government doesn't have, they're going to go after the person who built this machine, so we need to get to her before
that wasn't even
Namor, and before the government gets to her to make the new machine. But they also didn't know it was a kid who made it in the first place.
I didn't know that they were. I had no idea that the government was going after.
Like, it was mentioned. It was a brief conversation that was mentioned. That's what I know. But I could be wrong.
I had no idea that they I didn't even know they talked about Riri Williams at all. The entire time they were talking about it being the Wakandans. That's why they bugged the beads, and that, like, none of that was about Riri from my recollection, because they were always talking about it being the Wakandans attacking them, and that's why Bruh was trying to let them know that there was another power in play. It had nothing to do with the Wakandans. So I didn't know that. I'm gonna watch the movie again, so I'll be able to know what's going on. But I had no idea that they knew anything about Riri. I thought it was just like, yo, someone built this at MIT, let's take it. And then, because it was the Wakandans that even found out about all the stuff. And then, so I don't know. That's one thing that I'm 100% not sure of. But I don't think I don't think if that is something that matters to them or whatever, that will be 100% in her show. But I don't think that has anything to do. I honestly can't remember them talking about it, but I might be wrong. I don't know. Unpopular opinion. I didn't like the mid-credit scene. Shuri should have known. Okay, we're going to talk about that right now. Let's get into the mid-credit scene, yo. So the mid-credit scene was awesome. I knew exactly what was happening once again, because just like Killmonger, we've known that this was supposed to be a part of the movie for a long time. It has been leaked. It was leaked like a year ago, I think, that this was going to be what happened in the movie, was that Nakia was going to have a child, and that child was going to be Black Panther, T'Challa's child, and he was going to be named T'Challa, and that's how they were going to continue the story of T'Challa with his son. As soon as they walked up to, like, she pulled up to Haiti with Nakia, I immediately was like, oh shit, it's true. The little son is going to come out right now. And they saved it for the mid-credit scene, which I thought was also awesome and super smart to do. And then when the mid-credit scene happens, we see the little boy come in with Nakia, and they're all sitting around the fire, and he says, my name is Ahiri or something like that at first. And then, they're all talking and whatever. And then he's like, you can keep a secret? And she's like, yeah. He's like, well, that's not my real name. My real name is Prince T'Challa, son of King T'Challa. I was like, yo, let's go.
It was a cool moment, man. It was a cool moment. And, like, when that was over and all of us kind of had the moments kind of like, damn, this movie just happened. And then, like, all the people around me just kind of start, like, chuckling because of how bad we're all crying.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, like, it was a crazy moment, man. And it was just like, man, I'm excited to see where they go with his character and what it could mean for the MCU in the future, man. But I think they did that part beautifully, for sure.
Yeah,
for me.
I agree.
I like that.
I think it was a good move, to be honest. The only reason why I really think it was a good move is because we needed T'Challa. right? Like we need a T'Challa. They like the T'Challa is so important. And it just feels like they did the best thing that they could do to continue that quote unquote legacy, right? Because we know like the MCU is not ending any time soon. And they could even introduce T'Challa in like the multiverse saga or the Kang dynasty or whatever, and it'd be like a future version of the young T'Challa that we just got introduced to, aged up or whatever the case, like how they did with Ant-Man and the Wasp or whatever her name was, you know, not Ant-Man, Stature, that's what it is, Stature, you know, they aged her up through Infinity War and all that type of stuff. And this kid is only like 6 years old, right? Like he's like 6 years old, and that gives us a long time before he will actually be of age in the MCU. And I'm pretty sure he was born during the snap time, like while the snap was happened, or after the snap, before the blip, basically, like around there. Like she was probably pregnant at the end of like the Black Panther movie or something like that, right? Because that was like 2018, 2019-ish. So I'm pretty sure she was pregnant around that time. And then it would make sense as to she wasn't in the movie, any of those movies like Infinity War, Endgame, because she might have been pregnant at that time with the kid. So I don't know. That's definitely interesting. And what I would really like if they do is if they take the story of T'Challa's son in the comic books and kind of give it to this kid. Because in the comic books, T'Challa has a kid with Storm. And his name is Azurai or something like that. Azurai, something like that. And boy, I would love if they did something like that, because bruh, I just think the MCU does a really good job of blending things together. So if that happened, I would be okay with it. Let's see. CIA will come back for her either way. Armor Wars is coming. Maybe Ironheart will show up and interact with War Machine, another suspected Skrull. I don't think War Machine's going to be a Skrull by any means. I just don't. Especially because my guy like broke his legs and stuff. I don't think they would have did that to a Skrull. You dig? Was the mid-credit scene a move by Disney to be able to pull Letitia Wright in case they wanted to fire her or not renew her? I know they will age up T'Challa eventually, but will they keep both? I mean, she just became the Black Panther, so yeah, she's gonna probably be Black Panther in Black Panther 3, in the MCU for the next, like for this phase. We'll probably see some other T'Challas in Secret Wars, no doubt, like some other Black Panthers and stuff like that. We'll probably see them there. But as far as like wanting to fire Letitia Wright and all that type, nah, they're not doing that. They're not doing any of that, yo. Letitia Wright is not Ezra Miller, you dig? And if Ezra Miller ain't getting fired, then she definitely ain't going nowhere.
My guy committed. I'm just astonished that he's even still there. But
they're still going to release the movie. I think that's one of the most astonishing things.
It might do garbage, but
hey, it's said to be one of the best DC movies they made. That's what everyone that's seen it has said. Divinity had also said, unpopular opinion, I didn't like the mid-credit scene. Shuri should have known her nephew existed, and it should have been a reveal to the audience, not Shuri. I don't agree. Because they basically didn't want Lil Bruh to have like anything to do with Wakanda in a lot of the ways. And if Shuri would have known when her, like, it would have changed the dynamics of everything. Like, this movie would have not been the same if she
It would
knew.
have changed her entire movie.
Yeah, this movie would have not been the same if she knew that T'Challa had a kid this entire time. Like, it would not have been. It wouldn't have went like this at all. Like, it would have been way different. And I'm not against it. I think it was really smart, especially when you realize that the little T'Challa is the kid that greets the queen when she comes to the school to get Nakia. It's him. He's there. He's like, oh, are you looking for the headmistress? And bruh is a little spy. Like, he's a little spy. Yeah. Like, that's so cool. Like, that is so cool. And I think it all just kind of blends together with the story. And it makes the most sense because honestly, grief would have been handled completely different for Shuri if she knew that she had a nephew that whole time in the whole movie. She would have not been as evil, you know what I mean? Like, she wouldn't have went on demon time after she talked to Killmonger, like, because it would have been her brain just would have been different, you know, like it just wouldn't have been the same. She would have honored T'Challa. She would have wanted to honor T'Challa a lot more rather than avenge him if she knew he had a kid. And so that's why I think it was a really good point to not have her know. And I think it was an even better point to have the queen know and for T'Challa to know and that it'd just be them and that's it. Because why wouldn't the queen know? Why wouldn't he tell his mama? You know what I'm saying? Like, not telling... Yep. Like, I don't want to say it like this, but not telling your sister something and not telling your mom something are completely different things, right? Like, it's not and she's the queen on top of that. So he's like the reigning prince, basically. But they didn't want that for him, you know? And Shuri probably would have had some things to say, you know? Like, nah, he needs to come here or whatever. Like, I think she kind of would have had some things to say. Might have made a couple stuff for him because she's a tech junkie, so she'd have been making stuff for bruh and just doing a whole bunch. And I think it would have just been too hard. I personally don't think up until this point that Shuri was someone that could keep a secret. Like, I think she is now, but beforehand, I don't know. Like, I feel like she might have told Okoye or something like that. I don't know. And that's one thing that I think we definitely have to praise is Letitia Wright's performance in this movie. Because a lot of people were like, man, this is going to be a huge, like, this movie is going to suck because Letitia Wright is not as good an actor and XYZ and XYZ. Yeah. And I truly believe she gave an amazing performance. Like, Angela Bassett, whoever plays Namor, I can't think of his name, unfortunately. It's like Tanak Herrera or something like that. I can't, is it Tanak? I think it's something like that. Hold on. Namor actor. Because I want to get his name right. Yeah, Tanak Huerta. I was right. Tanak Huerta. So, Angela Bassett, Tanak Huerta, and Letitia Wright, they literally were highlights in this movie. This movie was just as, like, it was so smart to call this movie Wakanda Forever. You know what I mean? Like, even though it is Black Panther Wakanda Forever, it's really Wakanda Forever. It's not Black Panther 2, you know what I mean? It's Wakanda Forever. And this was a banger of a movie, and everyone brought their A game. And Letitia is definitely going to be in some other movies because of this movie as well. You know what I mean? Because I hadn't seen her before Black Panther. In other movies? I have no idea. I honestly have no idea if she's in anything else. But I wouldn't be surprised if she is. Movies. She's in Sing 2? Death on the Nile? What? I don't think we knew any of that.
She's on The Commuter.
She's in Black Mirror?
Oh, she's on Black Mirror.
That's her in that episode? What? That's crazy. I had no idea. I wonder who she is in Sing 2.
Interesting.
I definitely wonder who she is in Ready Player One. Like, no shot she's the one that was building bruh, right? Like, that's not her, right? Oh, she's just a rebel? What does that even mean? I don't know.
Interesting. I never really thought about that. What other movies she's in? But yeah, man, this movie was incredible, man. And I think the lasting effects that this movie could have on a lot of people is going to put this movie potentially at a really good place in the box office. And so I'm really excited to see how much money it'll make come Monday because just again the vibe that there was in the theater when I went to go see this movie was incredible.
Yeah, people were clapping
so
and shit in my theater. It was crazy.
So I can't wait to see how well this movie does in the box office. Like we mentioned before, the music was great, the performances was great, and I think just the story as a whole is putting the MCU in a very interesting place, much more darker world, and I'm very excited to see. And I can't wait to see what's next, man.
For real. Prince T'Challa is played by Divine Love Konadu's son. This is his first movie role. Oh wow,
it's pretty dope.
I think the kid from Love and Thunder, Heimdall's son. I think that was his first movie as well, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to the MCU. They really will grab anybody, bro. Like, I don't want to just say it like they just grab anybody, but they grab, if they think they're good, all right, I'll give you a chance. Like, just look at M'Baku, right? Bro was just like in the mall one day type of vibe. So it's definitely, yeah, I'm hyped. I'm hyped. No guarantee for the War Machine we see get injured is the one who came back and is in Secret Invasion. As for Shuri, Disney does stuff like that all the time and backtracks. It was her COVID comments. Yeah. All that stuff needs to go out the window. I mean, like, yeah, I don't want to start talking about COVID or nothing, but, you know, it's just, come on, bro. It's over. It's not over, but you know what I'm saying. Like, all of that stuff, we just need to go ahead and just let that go.
We got the flu now. We got the flu now.
Yeah, like, the flu is back in full effect now, you know? Like, that's what we need to worry about. So it is what it is, but, you know, and then she broke her leg and stuff, too, and that was a serious moment, for real. Yeah. Letitia's a great actress. My theater was full of people cheering loud for her and telling her to go get it. Yeah, for real. Wakanda Forever and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings were the two movies that had me rushing to see the film 2-3 times the same weekend. Yeah, Shang-Chi was amazing, and Wakanda Forever is also amazing. And I can't wait for the future of the MCU after Phase 4. I think Phase 4 is, I really like Phase 4. I'm not going to lie. I truly appreciate it for what it is at face value. And even when you get deeper, I appreciate it even more. I've always been the one that is on the side of, you know, Phase 4. Like, I am devil's advocate for Phase 4 because I'm like, bro, like, we cannot forget where we have come from and how we got to this point. It's not like they just, yeah, exactly. But it's not like Phase 4 is just a whole bunch of stuff just happening because they want it to happen. It is direct consequences of actions that have happened in the 3 phases before it. Yep. It just sucks that COVID came at when it did, because that's why we're not getting a lot of this connective tissue that we've been looking for. Doctor Strange not being in WandaVision, all these type of things that were supposed to happen that would have solidified Phase 4 as being like a true reactionary phase. But I'm okay. I'm okay with all of it. You know what I mean? I'm not really tripping. I love it, and I think the future of the MCU is shining bright like a diamond, no Rihanna. And I just really appreciate it, bro. Like, for real.
Yeah. I agree, man.
So, with all that being said, thank you guys for tuning in with us today on our movie review and open discussion for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. We both loved this movie so much. It's definitely in the top 5 for Phase 4. I don't know if it'll be in my top 5 for the MCU in all. I'll definitely have to go back and look at it. Yeah, it's Battery's number 2 movie in the entire MCU.
I think it's 2 or 1. I don't know. I'm having a hard time deciding, man.
I gotta go back.
For sure, it's in my top 2. I was telling a couple people that I know too, and they're like, "That's a bold statement."
It is a very bold statement.
It's a very bold statement. I was like, I know. But
I mean, this is coming from the guy that loved Thor and Love and Thunder, so we know we can't trust your opinion. No, I'm just playing. But no, for real. We both appreciated this movie so much, and it was really a beautiful movie. And I think this movie was really, like, I don't know what they could have did to make this movie better. But I do know they could have did a lot to make it worse. Aside from the CGI, that's really the only thing that they could have done better for the movie is the CGI. Because like even the moments that I didn't have a good time with, they definitely made up for. So you guys are awesome. Let us know what you guys would rank this movie out of 10 in the chat down below. I'm planning on doing a ranking episode like live of ranking the entire MCU, like A tier, S tier, and then doing it with Phase 4 as well, and doing all that type of stuff. So that might come soon, might come this week, it might not come this week, I don't know. But we appreciate you guys. Definitely tune in. If you haven't already, drop a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with all of the news flashes that we do around here. If you haven't already, you can also check us out on Twitter, social media, all the Instagram stuff at Marvel Bros, MRVL Bros, to stay up to date with the latest content and news. Follow me on social media at Sensei Finito. Follow Battery on social media at Battery CEO. We appreciate you guys for tuning in with us on an awesome movie review and open discussion. And we hope to see you guys on the next one. Stay awesome, stay nerdy, and stay marvelous. Excelsior.
Peace.